This episode of the Grappler Union podcast is brought to you by BJJTees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's strych9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 50 of the Grappler Union podcast. Paul Maloney alongside Anthony Zito. On this episode, we have Mark Vives and Adem Redzovic in studio. Mark is a second-degree black belt under Marcelo and Marcos De Souza, and he's the owner and head instructor at New Breed Training Center. Adem is a second-degree black belt under Eddie Redzovic, and he's the head instructor at Redzovic Jiu-Jitsu. Enjoy.
I need the 6 minutes. That's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You told me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
Live. On air.
Gentlemen, welcome back.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Yeah, great to be
Thanks
back.
for having us.
This was Mark's idea, actually, to put together a Fight to Win headliners episode.
Yes.
So, Mineko couldn't make it.
Yeah, he's got all the gold from San Diego. He couldn't get on the plane with it.
He's on the plane right now.
Yeah, you got double gold, huh?
Yeah, double gold.
Very cool.
Yeah, that message he sent us on Messenger at like 11 o'clock at night. He's like, yeah, I'm waiting for Absolute. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking 11 o'clock at night.
Right,
what are you
dude.
doing? What's going on in San Diego? I mean, I know there's a time difference, but still, that still would be 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because I know for the pros, for the master divisions, in order to get the money, you have to win the absolutes.
Oh, is that
you
what
have
it
to win
was?
the open
Oh,
weight
okay.
classes. So I'm sure. I don't know if they were running late or whatever, but yeah, he won.
Yeah, he won. I saw the check.
Yeah, won his division. Got the big check. I wonder if he actually gets to keep the big check.
Yeah, right?
Can I check this, please? At the airport?
Yeah.
Hanger, too. Hanger had got the
Hanger
check
won,
because he
yeah.
won double gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Nikki? Nikki won.
Nikki won her division, but she finished second in the absolute.
Oh, did she?
So she
Okay.
did not get the money, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if brown belts get money for winning their respective weight class.
I see.
I'm
So
not
how
sure.
long is it BJJ Pro? Because this is the first time I've heard of it.
It's been about a year now.
Oh, it has been?
Because the first pro event they ran was last year in New York.
Okay.
And I think this is the first time they ran a pro event in California, but I could be mistaken. I forget.
In levels of like difficulty, you know, how the Worlds is like the highest difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the BJ Pro event rank?
I
Maybe
know
after Naga.
but, I mean, I'm not sure. I think you have to qualify for it. I think you
It's
have
like
to have a
the
certain
top
amount
one,
of
right?
points.
Right. It's, Worlds, maybe Pans. And
Well, there's Worlds, and then I guess Euros is a little higher than Pans now, and then Pans, and then I guess the pro events, for lack of better terms.
yeah, that's even bigger than the Nationals, right? Nationals doesn't have too much.
Well, American Nationals, it's weighted pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, you know how the IBJJF weights their tournaments, like 7 is the Worlds.
Right.
Euros, I think, is 5. Don't quote me on that.
Right.
And I believe Nationals is 4. Pans is 4. Like Nationals and Pans are weighted the same. And then you have like the Asian Open and some other places as well too that are like weighted 3.
You just came back from there, right? You were at the Asian Open?
Yeah, how was
literally-
Japan, dude? Tell us.
I love Japan.
Yeah.
Like Japan's one of my. The Asian Open is actually like my favorite tournament. It is my absolute favorite tournament to go to. I've been there 2 of the last 3 years. It's so much fun. It's just, to me, so much fun, and I have the opportunity to sit there and train with the Souza family out there. They have 3 schools out there, and I was able to sit there and train at all 3. Get my ass handed to me left and right.
How long did it take you to get there from here, from Chicago?
Direct flight to Tokyo, actually. About what? 11 and change.
Oh,
just under
really?
12. But I love the long flight. I love the long flight.
What do you
I
love
thought that-
about a
I thought it
long
was long.
flight?
My phone doesn't go off. At all.
Oh, okay.
You guys don't understand. When you guys messaged me for stuff and everything, I'm literally, I have to reply.
Right, yeah.
It's like I have to reply. I cannot not look at my phone when it dings. So, of course, like on the plane,
Yeah.
for 12 hours, I know that thing won't go off.
And overseas flights the planes are way nicer.
Are
Zito
they?
wouldn't know. He's never left the country,
yeah.
but
Really?
No, I haven't.
You've never left the country? Not even to Canada, Mexico, nothing?
do you have a passport?
I do have a passport.
Yeah.
But I've never used it.
Okay.
But at least I have one.
Well, in case you need to.
In case I need to, like,
Where
get
should he
out
go,
of
guys? Where should his first trip be?
Yeah.
Take him to Bosnia.
Yeah.
There you go. So you were just there?
Yeah.
And that I follow you on Instagram, so obviously I see all
No,
the
man, you
all the
unfollowed
posts.
me.
No,
He unfollowed me.
See,
I saw that.
So that made me feel bad. So what I did was I killed my Azito account. So I'm not doing Azito anymore. I'm just doing Grappler Union because I was doing both, and I'm like posting stuff here, I'm like, you know what, this is silly. Why am I doing 2 accounts? So I'm just doing the 1 account now.
So many people are upset about that, I bet.
I know,
Like,
everyone's
where's
upset.
Azito?
Where's
in my
Azito?
feed? Oh, wait.
Well, the whole thing is that I'm just not good at doing. I just don't want to do it anymore. Like every day I go to train. I train 5 days a week. Period. I don't need to post every time I'm training. So I'm just.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just. I'm training 5 days a week, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm just there, and I don't need to be. I was tired of doing it. It's like keeping up with the Joneses. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I killed it, and I'm like, just do Grappler Union because it's a lot of fun, and I post whenever we do a podcast.
Is Grappler Union following Adam?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's how I see everything. That's how I like everything.
He just stalks everything.
Yeah.
He just has his own like stalker account. And
Yeah.
look at
So
But yeah, I
So
saw
that's a lot
your
of fun.
Facebook Live. You're like restoring some sort of youth facility in Bosnia. What's going on with that?
You know, one of my training partners, one of our black belts, he's originally from Sarajevo. That's like the capital of Bosnia. And he's been going back and forth. He started this program, I think, over 10 years ago, something like that. We have a strong group of athletes there, handful of purple belts, blue belts. So there's a good core team that's already established. And I noticed traveling throughout Europe, here it's commonplace. If you see a jiu-jitsu school, it's a storefront, But a lot of the European cities I've been to, it's more common. People are training like in community centers or gymnasiums and stuff like that. So they're currently training out of basically like a really old community center that hasn't really been taken care of. The economy over there is not good. The government is broken. But the community center looks beautiful. It's like if you polish it a little bit, it'll look like maybe the best academy I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's got outside, it's got a basketball court. Inside, it's got at least 3,000 square feet of mat space and all that stuff. So basically, what we're doing is just trying to see if we can gather enough funds to polish the place up. And that's completely for those people there. I don't have any financial ties to the place or any ambitions to make that a revenue stream or anything like that. But it would be nice just to do something like that, you know. And
for sure.
It's so cheap over there that I think it's so possible we can do it. There's so many. With all these social media tools and stuff, there's so many good people out there that are looking for something to contribute to. So if I can just put a couple pieces together and help that, I would really, I think I would really like that. So we talked about in the past making a website and stuff like that. So I'm right there. I got all the information. Everything's ready.
I secured those domain names, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
Just let me know when the launch.
And that'll be your first trip.
Yeah.
We'll go out there. We'll check it out.
There you go. First stamp in your passport. There you go.
First stamp.
Honestly, man. And you know what? It's for those people who are listening. I mean, if you're roughly my age in your 30s or whatever, I mean, if you hear of Bosnia, probably war might be one of the first few things that pop in your mind.
Or cold weather, maybe.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Actually, their climate is just like Chicago.
Okay.
So the winters are really brutal. The summers are just as brutal. So, but that's a place where you can go there, and within an hour or two, you're in every city in Europe by plane.
Yeah.
And it's really cheap there. If you guys ever go, you can stay at my place there, my parents' place at least. And it'll be a good time. Man. It's really interesting different, totally. It's like you warp into it like a Legend of Zelda. You know what I mean? Like it's a
right.
different, totally
Enter
different.
Hyrule.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Instagram to come. So I watched a lot of your Instagram, but I don't know what you guys are saying in it. There's so many Instagram followers I follow or people I follow on Instagram that I don't. They need to like translate on the screen, like, you know, as they're talking to
Right.
translate what they're saying.
I bet
because
that's right around the corner.
it's got to be
Yeah.
right because I'm just like because I follow so many Brazilian people and there's this one Brazilian black belt I follow and she's talking and I don't know what, but I have no idea what she's saying. I don't know if she's selling something all the time or what but she's having like conversations.
You got to look at this app right here.
What's
this
that?
actually works. It's called Converse.
Converse? Okay.
So you literally just sit there and
It's Shazam for
yeah. It's
people
basically
talking.
Shazam for it translates it on the start on the fly.
Really?
Absolutely. But my free trial like ended and I used it in Japan.
Okay. Oh,
so
you did?
people were like sitting there and just talking to me. And I
So
was
can you
listening.
run an Instagram like live feed and that app at the same time? And
I didn't try.
Yeah.
It only gave me like a seven day trial.
Right,
How
right.
much, how much is that app? Is it like is it a $5 app or is it like a $50 app?
It's a subscription.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you pay monthly.
You got to pay
Oh,
monthly. I think it's
smart.
like $10. I think it's like $9.99 a month or something like
So
that.
you
But it
hold
does
this up,
work.
they talk to you, and then you talk back and then hold it back to them?
Absolutely.
Wow, clever.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
like so there's just got hold the button and then
Right.
just basically translate through and that's it.
Huh.
That's what
nice.
it works. So I mean, I'm just not willing to pay $10 a month for it.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not traveling.
Yeah, if you're not traveling, right. Yeah, it doesn't make any
I got a
sense.
quick question for you, Adam.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu in Bosnia, is it more? Because I've always wanted to do something in the Philippines too. That's like more for because jiu-jitsu in the Philippines, it's really expensive to train there. It really, really is. Like the kimonos and everything else, just the fees itself and everything. So jiu-jitsu in the Philippines is mostly for affluent people there, unfortunately. But of course, you have 60 to 70% of the population there is at or below the poverty line.
Yeah.
So there's like really no way to get jiu-jitsu to them.
Yeah.
Unless there's something pro bono out there, and the government doesn't really recognize jiu-jitsu as a sport in any way, shape, or form. Although they're trying. Well, that's not exactly accurate. They're trying to do some things there now. So it becomes more recognized and. Hopefully, if it becomes part of the Olympics, or I know it's part of the Asian Games, I know they're trying to recognize it there. But for the most part, it just seems like only the affluent people can really afford to train. I was wondering if it was like that in Bosnia as well, too.
I don't know too many affluent people over there.
Okay, right. Touche. There you go.
No, I'm joking. It's generally, from what I see, like it's just like here.
All right.
I think like you have like a doctor, which is probably the most affluent, I
Right.
guess, in the group. But you also got the guy who can't afford to pay the 30 marks, or that's like $20 a month. So it's similar,
You got the big range.
Yeah, and over there, like it's basically free. Like that's the way. From all the people I've talked to, it's. I don't know if it's like from people being used to these things being like the government providing them, and I guess if you don't have the money, they'll figure it out. It's it's a totally different world. You got to come with me next time. Man. You got to
I'd
see
love
it
to.
firsthand.
I'd love to,
Yeah.
because when you were I follow you on social media as well too, and I've always wanted to set something up, some sort of pro bono type deal thing in the Philippines, specifically for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I know Brandon Vera, who former UFC vet, ONE FC champion now. He moved from California to the Philippines, and I believe he does pro bono work, but specifically for Muay Thai and MMA and stuff like that. So for people who can't really afford it and everything else. And I've always wanted to do it specifically just for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I just don't support little kids punching each other in the face.
Right. Sure.
I'm not a big
Right.
fan of that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, is there like in the Philippines? Is there like places like Adam was saying, like
Community
these
centers? Not really.
No.
I mean, there are. I just don't think that they're used in the same capacity as the community centers that they are in Bosnia.
What's the biggest hurdle? Like just finding a place in the Philippines?
It's I've talked to a couple people, and honestly, it's people want something out of it. It's,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like, there's a lot of people want, a little something under the table and everything like that. It happens.
Are there like storefront schools, or is it also like in gymnasiums and stuff like that they're training out of?
So the biggest school, I believe they're the biggest school now, is Atos, Philippines. Their main headquarters is actually run out of a gymnasium in a college, and it's huge mat space and everything else. It was actually started by it's actually run by their judo coach, their head judo coach. So he also got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well too, from Ramon Lemos, and so he just basically shares the space. So all right, from 5 to 7 we're going to do judo. 7 to when we're done we're doing jiu-jitsu. So it's a huge space. So it works out perfect for them. But like some of the other schools they're in malls. There's no such thing as a storefront in the Philippines. Yeah. It's like that doesn't happen. It's a mall culture because it's so damn hot and humid. They're like just going from mall to mall to mall to mall to mall and just doing that. There's no such thing as a store. There's really no such thing as a storefront.
It's so cool to see like the way things are done and all these different. It's different and.
I will say this: you got to come with me to Manila because the Manila Open this year was the inaugural Manila Open. That was a blast. They had it outdoors in a mall, like in a mall arena, that was literally overlooking like the Manila Bay. And towards the end of the night, they were playing like music and everything else and fireworks and like there's a clip somewhere like on social media where I'm like someone took it and you could see me reffing in the background. And he's like panning around and everything. You see fireworks over the bay and everything.
Really?
Like,
that's awesome.
And I'm sitting there like, it was funny because I'm trying to pay attention, reffing, and I'm looking at fireworks and looking at people doing all this. There's an IHOP behind there and everything, and the Starbucks and everything. I'm like, man.
Do you have acai out there also?
They do.
Wow.
They do have acai. It's a little overpriced because it's not
because it's always overpriced.
Right, exactly. That's very true.
I think was that the tournament where there was someone surprised Mike Fowler. It was like a white belt, but it's a judo black belt.
Judo black belt. John Bailon. They did a judo tournament, and it just so happened that was like maybe it's got to be like 8 to 10 years ago. That was a while.
That guy was a beast, right?
That guy was a beast. That guy still is a beast. John Bailon. He's a let's see here, black belt. I believe he trains mainly. I forget who gave him his black belt, but. Yeah, he's good. He's legitimate.
So that was judo rules?
Judo rules. Mm-hmm. Judo rules, which nowadays judo rules are a lot, from what I understand, they're a lot more liberal with all the groundwork and everything else. So it's basically jiu-jitsu now, from what I understand. But, I'm sure some judoka is going to sit there and message me and saying, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And they're right. So
they're always changing, right? The rules are always changing,
though. Right? So, I mean... it's like the IBJJF too. That changes too, and it's going to change some more. And no one's got it figured out yet or anything. So, kind of is what it is, and just deal with it as it comes and stuff. So, it's. But I remember the last time we were talking about competitions too here in the U.S. and how Andre Galvao was saying, like it's always going to be harder for the U.S. to catch up because. I mean, they're going to catch up. Like, we're going to catch up here and everything, but it's harder because you have all these different organizations with these different rule sets.
Right.
So, at least it's still evolving. And we're going.
What's your favorite rule set?
Honestly, fight to win.
Yeah.
Points. I understand it's a different. It's a different beast. Like but if you're. I haven't been in a fight. I have not been involved in a fight to win match where both guys weren't trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's I like this. This is let's just try to kill each other, and if we go to a decision, we both can't complain. We both kind of lost, but we'll just take the decision and see what So it is what it is. What it is. So I mean, because if you think about it, if it goes to a decision, it's technically a draw. You both kind of failed at kicking each other's ass.
You're right.
But it's. But someone's got to win. I get it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
Now, Mark, you're famous for this power up move that you do, right? Where you go out there and like double fist punch the ground, and you have like this devil face on, But it's a real crowd pleaser. People like it. Now, I've heard rumors that this is supposed to be the biggest fight to win yet. That's what Seth is saying. This is going to be the biggest attendance, most viewed. So you could say it's a special event, right?
Are
we going to see a special power up from you, like when Bruce? You know how Bruce Buffer does like the 180
Yeah.
when he's
he
introducing the
does it.
fighters, right?
It's so good watching him
But for
warm up that
UFC
too. It
UFC
really is.
100, he did like the full 360 spin when he was doing it. Are we going to see like a special power up?
No, I think I'm gonna power up the exact same way.
No, come on, tease the audience just a little bit.
He'll come out in a silver gi or something like that.
Backflip into a power up.
I will say that I'm hard at work trying to figure out what my walkout song is going to be.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
I'm very, very hard at work trying to
Paul
figure
and I
that
were
one
just
out.
talking about this. So I'm doing grappling games this weekend
Okay.
coming up, and I was just telling Paul I just submitted my song to Amber. She texted like, today's the last day you could submit your song. So I'm like, all right.
And then what? What did they do? They picked the song for
I don't
you?
know.
You
I
come
guess
up
they
to
took
nothing?
it down. Right. There was like nothing. So I'm like, I've been battling between these two songs. And I'm just like, all right. This is
How
the one
come
I'm
I didn't
going
hear about it? You didn't reach out to your buddy Paul?
Because
Hey, what do you think?
Here's the thing, because he gave me so much about the gi thing at the Worlds, the blue gi and the black gi.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully. I didn't want him to do the same thing with it. 'Cause I've been struggling with this song thing for at least 2 weeks now. I was like,
Wow.
this
It's hard
thing-
work?
It's hard.
Oh, it's hard. You go
It's
back
hard.
and forth.
I'm like,
No,
is this really me? Is this what I want to feel like? Is this, I don't want to feel that night. So
I don't know what I'm going to feel that night.
Right.
That's great. I'm like, oh man, it might actually like power me down.
right, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I'm a pretty mellow feeling.
Very detail oriented, Zito is.
I am, but the song choice I think is pretty good.
Okay, so it's a surprise. You're not dropping.
I mean,
song on it.
you can come to grappling games,
Right,
and
okay.
watch.
Ooh, okay.
You can buy tickets. Choose Anthony Zito. All proceeds are being donated to charity, by the way. So anything I receive from the event, I'm donating all to charity. So,
very cool.
So if you pick my name, no, it's not going.
What
to me.
charity you?
So I haven't
focus
figured out
on?
yet. I think after the event, I might just throw an Instagram post up. Hopefully, I win, and then I'll have whoever submits the most charities under the grappling game or Grappler Union Instagram. Whichever charity wins the most or gets the most votes, that's the one I'll donate the money to.
Oh, there you go.
Very cool.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So get more people involved.
So Grappling Games is doing the same kind of format as
Same fight
to
as
Win?
Fight to Win. Yeah.
I think that would be the third time they did it here in Chicago.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Third time.
Same location too.
No, this is an Oak Lawn
Lawn.
Pavilion. Yeah. So South Side.
And they pay well too. I mean, we had
I don't
Aaron
know.
Brooks in studio, and he got a submission at the brown belt level, and he got $400.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Yeah, I believe it's the. I believe because I've had a couple guys on that card as well too. I think it's the same pay scale as Fight to. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know.
I didn't ask. I just.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey man, let's
It's cool.
fight.
Whatever. I'm just excited even that I got asked. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun.
Have you guys heard the new Killers song called "The Man"?
No.
Oh God, you have to listen to it. People at home right now, just YouTube "The Man" by the Killers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the song to come out to.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah,
There you go, Mark. There you go.
I'll check it out.
yeah. Check it out.
But getting back to the power up thing, everyone asks me what the power up stuff is all about and everything like that. It's funny because the reason why I do it is actually it kind of makes no sense, to be honest with you. It's when I was competing as a purple and I was a brown belt, I would be like really get too overly hyped up and anxious and just complete like out of control and stuff. So I had a hard time kind of calming myself down. So I would have to like try to calm myself down. But something happened within like the past couple of years where it was just I just stopped caring, and I found like I needed to pump myself up for fights and to compete and everything else. So it was it's hilarious because like before I did it, I would go out there and just get murdered because it would be like I was sparring as
Right.
opposed to competing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got to figure something out and stuff like that. So I listen to like really weird, crazy music and stuff to kind of pump myself up. And I just walk around with that mean face and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's funny because I'm just like, you guys can come up and talk to me, just not when the headphones are on.
Right.
Like, just not when the headphones are on.
That's the worst, right?
I see Mark
Oh, my God.
running upstairs at the IBJ at the Chicago Open. I just know, I'm just nodding. What's up, man? He's going.
Yeah.
Headphones are on. He's what's
doing
up?
wind sprints and
That's
everything
it.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's crazy.
He's in the zone.
So
That's
it,
great.
just power
Pumps you up,
to-
yeah.
I got to pump myself
It's a
up.
good
Otherwise,
idea.
I'm just like,
I need to try that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you do. What
I
about
look
you,
like
Adam?
I'm
What do you
asleep
got to
out
do?
As far as what?
Well, first of all, Adam, it's been a while since you've competed, right?
Grappling industry.
I
Did
did
you do
one
something?
match, or that same person, 2 matches. That was like a year ago or something, and before that was probably another couple of years. So
Right,
yeah,
right, yeah.
I haven't been
sparse,
consistent
right?
at all.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know. There's something every now and then. I just feel like I got to do it, And I really think it's one of the best things you can do, to have a date with someone who wants to choke you, and you got to make sure that you're, eating well, resting well, training well, and all that stuff. So I think it's just I like it. I don't have my competitive nature is not really high where I want to do it all the time. I don't think I can balance it in my life at this moment, but I do think I think everybody should do it, at least once, or every now and then. Especially if you feel like for me, I have to have something on my plate to stay busy. If I don't have nothing going on, I get lethargic. I get unproductive. So this is always a good idea to put something on the calendar,
Right.
and
Well, how's it feel to, for lack of better terms, kind of come out of like a short retirement and come out immediately right on the Fight to Win stage?
We'll see how it feels. I don't know.
That's kind of a boss move, though, isn't it?
It is a boss move.
Because you were commentating on it on
Both of them,
Greed.
both.
On both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And awesome commentary too, man. I'm gonna miss that for
thanks,
sure on
man.
this one.
Thanks,
Is
Leva.
there someone who's filling in? Do you know?
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
Adam says
He's playing double duty.
Yeah, right. There you go. Like that BJJM. You're reffing and then you go fight.
Adam says like the right thing at the right time. You know what I mean? And some guys they talk through the whole thing, like a play-by-play. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
you
I'm
don't
watching
have
it.
to- yeah.
Like I see that. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
talk the whole time. You know.
Yeah.
And no, I really like your commentary. It made me laugh actually during Maneko's match on the last one. That first minute, he came out like a bat out of hell, and Adam was like trying to find the best possible, the nicest possible way to say like, well, this is a mismatch. And he just said, well, it looks like Maneko's all in here. That's so Adam. And it was like so accurate and the perfect thing to say,
Yeah, so every now and then you do see it. You see someone like him he's all in, man. It's part of his life. Like Mark, they're full time.
Yeah.
Then sometimes you get paired up with someone who doesn't have that same experience level.
Yeah.
And, usually it's going to go. It's almost a guarantee, that's how if I was a betting person, I would see it's like who's the more active competitor. I'll always give them an edge. Just something about that, I think, from my experience.
Yeah.
That's what I tell like these younger kids on our team that like to compete, and sometimes they're afraid of losing and all that stuff. And I just try to convince them, like just go. I think like Mark said, now he has to pump himself up. I remember like up till probably black belt, you get super nervous, and I feel the same way too now. Like I'm actually. I don't feel the same anymore, and I think it's who knows, maybe it was at the 20th match or a 200th match or whatever it is for somebody, but I think for those young guys out there who are competing, I think just keep doing it, whether you get embarrassed, whatever. Eventually, you're gonna be the man if you can keep eating humble pie,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's your walkout?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm interested to hear this.
I don't know.
Yeah,
to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, see, it's a tough thing, Paul.
Maybe Fedor's song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, The Man by the Killers.
But I'm really excited to see you on the stage, and like you're going up against Dan Hornbuckle, right?
Me too.
Yeah, and that's a good matchup. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the guy is a warrior.
Yeah.
He's
He
been in
fights.
there, and he's got a lot of.
MMA fighter, right?
Yeah. He's. I think if just from, like, I don't know if it's the best or what, but I don't like this. If I'm gonna compete, I don't. I think it's nice to know your opponent's tendencies and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes you watch them too much, and then you put them on a pedestal. So I've just from what I saw, he's a fantastic athlete, and he's got a warrior spirit, and it should be fun.
Is it in gi?
Yeah, it's
Is
in the
it
gi.
gi? Okay.
I think I remember looking at the card. And my immediate thoughts about the card, I had two immediate thoughts. Number one, like I was saying earlier, off the when we first came here off the air, I think this is the card itself is almost all the matches are evenly matched up, and I love it. Like they're just going to be fights, and like these guys are going to go, and people are going to try to finish each other, and I just think that like a lot of the matches, you can kind of see ways both parties can actually win. So that was like my first thought, and then the second thought I was like, wow, this card is almost all gi.
Oh, is it really?
It's almost all gi, and I'm like, I think let's just say it was 30 fights. I didn't really count. I was just like looking at it. So if it's 30 fights, it looked like to me that all but like 4 fights are gi.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got a good matchup. You got Casio Wernick.
Casio Wernick?
Yeah,
that guy's a G.
beast, man. Yeah,
that guy's a G.
He used to compete at a heavyweight class, right? He was what was he before? He was
I think
heavier guy.
I think he fought at heavy, but I know that he won a Worlds as an adult at least once. At least once, and
In the black belt level?
In black belt level.
Damn.
Wow.
So he's legit, man. He's super legit,
Yeah.
and he
Might have to do
won-
2 power-ups for that one.
or 3 or 4. But I know. Well, he won. He recently just won Master Worlds at literally Master 3 middleweight where I fight. So he won. He's top dog in my division.
Yeah.
He won Master Worlds last year. He won Pans. He wins.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because I got back from Master Worlds and I was having dinner, and I got a text from Seth, and he was just like, "Hey, Mark, I want you to main event this card, and who do you want to fight?" So, and I thought he asked me. He's just like, when I got the text, I was just like, "Is it who you mean locally?"
Right.
Whatever. And then he elaborated. It's just like, "No, who do you want to fight?" And it's funny because I always said to myself, leading up to Master Worlds, like in August and everything, like if I don't win this thing, if I don't medal, I want to fight Casio Wernick and fight to win.
Wow.
So I asked for Casio. I was like, I want to fight Casio Wernick. Like he was one of the 2 people I wanted to fight. And Seth immediately goes like, "Oh, I'm really good friends with him. I can make that happen."
Damn.
And I was like,
nice.
And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
That's so great.
And literally, I'm at dinner. I shot that text off. He replies back to me. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see if we can get it done. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, he said yes. I'm like, well, what's going on? All right, let's do this. Like,
That's so awesome.
Like, yeah, that's kind of how, of course it wasn't, it's now official, but
Right.
like back then, we're like, okay, you got to wait till everything's confirmed and
Right.
you're loaded up on cage tickets and everything. But yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. And I'm like, awesome, man. So it's a match, and he's really cool. I've talked to him a little bit, and he's we're gonna go, we're gonna fight, and this is something that I've always wanted. Like
He's from Sacramento, right?
Yes, he's from Sacramento. He's good. He's a G. So it's like I guess my turn to sit there and try to represent Chicago here on a main event here and stuff like that. And
Well, I know you're gonna bring your whole team. Your team
Yeah.
is like the
Yeah, they're
loudest team ever. They are so loud. It's crazy.
yeah.
Those guys are great, man.
when they found out I was going to main event, they're like, all right, cool. So this is how we're going to sit there. They're all planning how to sit there and do it.
This time, let them rush the stage. If you will.
I told them, I'm like, look, if I win, I'm going to jump off the stage. You guys better catch me.
Oh.
You guys better catch
Crowd
me.
surf?
I'll crowd surf.
All right, man.
I'll just don't drop me.
So you were on that card when the mats were slippery, right?
Yeah.
Outside? How was that? What did you feel like when you felt that?
I knew it was going to happen too. I just had this feeling that it was going to be really slick out there. So it actually didn't affect my game plan. I already mentally sat there and prepared myself for it. When I got out there, I didn't realize how slick it was really going to be. It was really bad. And, it was funny because I went out there and I'm going to the ref and I'm just like shaking my head and putting my hands up, and he's looking at me, putting his hands up like, oh, well, everyone's screwed. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Everyone's screwed. So we should all stop complaining about this and just deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it didn't really affect me too much. I know for some people it completely changed their games and what they wanted to do and everything else. For example, it kind of changed the dynamic with like Mike Simarusti and with Mike Sim and Daniel Viana's match, because Mike wanted to stand with him a little bit more, and you could tell Daniel, being the savvy guy, he's like, I'm not standing in this. Screw this. He's like, I'm on my ass. Like I'm not playing around. And it got them, but it was cool because all the black belts kind of got together in the back. We're all discussing the mats. And we were all literally just like, all right, let's just all double pull.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just start on our knees, and we'll figure it out from there.
Can you imagine this? That down.
It was
bow, shake your hand. That's it.
Yeah, it was just like and just go. But we were literally all talking to each other in the back. It was funny because they separate. They don't really have like locker rooms or anything like that, but they have like the red mat and the blue mat.
Okay.
And there's like some division in between it. But we're like yelling over the chairs all to each other, like, "Hey, I'm gonna pull. You want to just double pull? Like, let's just do that."
It seems like in that kind of condition, for sure, it's easier to play guard than the pass.
Yes,
right?
it was definitely easier to play guard. But it's funny because like if you swept the guy, then now you're playing guard. Now you're passing guard and he's playing guard. So you're like, you just had to be really smart with it and stuff. So yeah, it's.
It eliminates all judo too. Like
Exactly.
you didn't see any good throws or anything.
Oh yeah, and then that kind of stunk for some of the guys that have really really good stand up and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's kind of everyone was dealt the same.
Yeah. You
the
live
same
and you
cards.
learn. Like, is that the only outside one that Seth's done?
Yes.
I think so.
That is the only
Probably
outside
the
one.
last one too, right?
I hope they do another outside one sooner or later.
It felt cool.
It was great.
It looked cool.
It
If
looked
it wasn't
great.
for
Yeah.
the what was the humidity? Was
the
causing
humidity.
It was just a dew point. When the sun went down and everything like that. Part humidity, part dew point, all that other fun stuff.
So he's got to come back in like October. Doing like late
If he comes in the
October.
summer, that's fine. You just got to make sure the mat's cooled off before, because that tarp is going to get real hot
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's going to be sitting out there all day
Exactly.
long. But like if you can just literally cool it off, because if the show starts at 6 and you can cool it off, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean that would be.
What is it? What is it? A canvas? What is that? What does he use?
It's like a vinyl or something.
It's vinyl, but it's vinyl. It's basically vinyl. It's vinyl covered, but there's mats clearly.
And then is it underneath? So it is cushiony. It's
Oh, yeah.
not. It's like a.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Yeah,
it's
it's got
got
some
cement.
Right?
Little
Old
vinyl.
school.
Be all right.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of sand underneath.
How did it go with you, Adam? As far as did you reach out to Seth? Did he say, "Hey, Adam, I want you to fight on this card"? How'd that go?
No, I remember when I saw Mark last time. He asked me why aren't you on that card, and I said nobody called me.
there you go.
And then he said,
From Mark?
you got to go online and do it.
Right.
And then so this time around, I just went online and submitted my name and got on like that.
Yeah.
So
Easy as that.
No big story behind that. Type my name in, clicked enter.
And now you're on it.
Right.
Nah, but I'm glad that Adam's on there. He's one of the OGs around the area and stuff like that. So
Sure.
I mean, it's good to have the OGs on there.
yeah, it'll be good memories, huh?
So Seraphin's on it too.
Yeah.
Maneko's on it. What other black belts are on that?
Mike Sim.
No, Mike Sim's no longer on it.
Oh, he's not?
He had to pull out. Unfortunately,
he?
he had
What
an
did-
injury and kind of some family stuff that happened.
Oh,
and stuff
okay.
like that,
Oh,
so.
yeah. All right. Shout out to Mike
And
Blake Klassman.
he had to pull out.
He pulled out. He hurt his shoulder. Man, I was really looking forward to his match against Kaio. That was going to be fireworks.
That would have been
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Who was Nick?
Mike was supposed to fight Leo Perez.
Mike was on the card.
And I believe now, I'm actually trying to pull up the
Yeah, we can pull
card
it up.
right now. But he was supposed to fight Leo Perez, who co-main evented with me last time, and I think he's fighting. I'm gonna butcher his name. Gilmar Ferreira. I believe that's his name. But yeah, so I know. I believe that's the matchup now. And Antoine's fighting, of course, on it. Antoine's
Yeah,
fighting
that's
Lyndon
right.
Lyndon Terry. Hope I pronounced Lyndon's last name right. It's Jeff versus Isbek Mustakov. That's
Isaac is one of my favorite guys to watch.
Oh,
He's-
yeah.
He's got a good style.
yeah. He's
Great throws.
You guys know anything about Isbek?
No.
Oh gosh, Isbek's awesome. He's really exciting, really exciting guy to watch.
Oh, okay.
He's
He's going against
Jeff Seraphin.
Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jeff is going to try and sloth him out. You know?
He's going to need to, because he's going to need to, and Isaac's going to sit there and try to be like a Tasmanian devil and grab Jeff and try to not let him get sloughed out. It's literally contrasting styles, but it's going to be...
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Matt Layton's on the card.
Yes. So
Steve Patterson?
Steve hurt his AC joint, so he's out.
Okay.
And he got replaced by Nick Calvanese from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu United out in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I've trained with him before, and that's going to be a good matchup.
Okay.
Two different styles. That's going to be like just clashing heads. That's a good matchup.
Yeah. And Mineko's fighting Brandon Batchelor from Serafin. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good matchup too. I mean, you're looking at the cards, and a lot of it. You're looking at the card, and a lot of it's just pretty evenly matched up.
Osher's fighting Jim Fritz.
They couldn't find a match for Mineko for a while. A couple of weeks he was on there. It's like, nobody will say yes.
I think he said he's fighting for a belt. I think that's what he told me the other day.
A fight to win belt?
Yeah, I think so.
They're trying to do master, I think, like master championships.
Yeah,
and stuff.
something like that. I can't wait to get Seth on the podcast because I really want to talk about how some people get belts and some people. I don't understand his whole thing about it.
Or they have like a point system.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he does. Do you know, Mark?
I remember reading it on the site. There's a point system based on, I believe. Don't quote me again, Seth. Don't kill me. But clearly, if you win, you get a certain value, point value. I think if you win by submission, you get a certain point value as well too. And you have to sit there and accumulate a certain amount of points before you can be considered for a title shot. Now, clearly, when they first started, they needed to sit there and create champions.
Right.
So they were just matching up like
Right.
and you need to. You have to do it that
Yeah.
way.
Because Kyle Terror has a belt.
Yes. They didn't even have like divisions at first. They were trying to create the divisions and everything.
Well, Barry Yoshida, the first one here in Chicago, that was for a belt, wasn't it?
No, he was already
just
the
the
champion.
headline. Oh,
he was
okay.
already the champion.
Okay.
So, but that was also for the belt too, where Mike Reno fought him.
Right.
And Kyle, let's see here. That was Kyle's first time fighting in a fight to win.
Yeah.
That I know. And I think that they had a weight class, I think, already set up for him. Basically set up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that happened. But did he walk out with a belt? I didn't notice, to be honest with you.
I thought, and what's his name get a belt? Gary Tonin, didn't he get a belt?
So he is a no-gi champion in fight to win, because he's fought fight to win a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other champions are. I know Galvao's a champion. Galvao's a champion at 200 in the gi.
When are these ADCCs starting? That's next weekend?
That's next weekend.
Yeah.
Like, that's next week. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the 23rd and 24th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, 23rd and 24th, 2 days.
Yeah, that's going to be.
That's on Flow Grappling. You can watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Flow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a fight companion for it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So, are you going to be competing during this time as at grappling games while Abu Dhabi's on? Because between Abu Dhabi and you fighting at grappling games, Anthony, I'm going to watch Abu Dhabi.
I might not make it to your match, though.
Yeah, that's right. No. I will actually be there. I have people that coach as well too.
Oh, you will be there?
I will be there,
okay.
but I will not pay attention and just look at my phone.
Be looking at your phone all the time. Well, at least the 7 minutes I'm on, just try to put your phone down. For those 7 minutes.
The finals are on Sunday, so
Yeah, the finals are on Sunday. Yeah.
that might save you.
Yeah.
They might be done for the evening and stuff.
And who
They're
else
in
do we
Finland,
got?
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys ever been there, Finland?
No.
No, I've never been to Europe.
Never, huh?
Never.
You got to go, man. Come
Yeah.
to Bosnia, honestly.
I'd love to.
Let's do it.
I'd love to. No, honestly, let's plan it out and everything else.
Should do a whole jiu-jitsu summit out there.
I think like if I go, the routes that I'm familiar with that I think are nice is obviously for me that one, you can hit up Croatia, Serbia, and everything in that area. But another good one is going to Amsterdam, and then from there, like you're in an hour, you can get anywhere almost on the train. A couple hours, you're in Paris, and you're in Germany, and you're in But there you're going to spend more money. The more west you go, things become a little bit more expensive.
Right.
But we should do it, man.
Yeah, I'd love to. I love traveling. Like I said, I love flights.
How much a ticket to Japan?
So coincidentally, it's the low season right there. So when I booked this last ticket, I got my round trip ticket with insurance and everything like that for just over $800
Not bad.
round trip. So that was flying to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Manila, and then Manila back to Tokyo, and then all the way back. So
How far is Manila from Japan?
4-hour flight. So pretty much like 3 destinations for $800 with insurance already. So it was,
In Japan, is it expensive there? Or?
you know, it is. It can be very much so. It was funny because I had this is the first time I brought a team. I brought like 7 students with me to the Asian Open, and it was weird because at first it was just me, and literally with just like 2 weeks to go, it was just like, all right, we're coming with you, Mark. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Well, you know, and funny story. I was supposed to actually ref at work for the IBJJF for the Asian Open, and I kind of messed up. There's a little bit of a miscommunication, and the person who was running the tournament got real pissed at me because he thought I was still reffing, and you know, basically miscommunication here and there and stuff like that. I got yelled at the first day. Okay, why are you late? And I'm like, I was supposed to email you if I'm going to work. Like, oh, they said you're going to work. I'm like, no, I got student. And then I had to explain it to someone else and stuff.
Right.
But it was, you know, it was my fault. I could have prevented that whole thing. But yeah, but it was cool. You had 7 students there and everything like that. And I had 2 students who had never been out of the country before. Never been. Their first time out of the country, they choose Japan.
Nice.
Like, that's a horrible choice.
Why is it horrible?
It's Japan. Nothing's like, you know. Not. You could have gone to like Australia or London or Canada first and stuff, where people speak English on the regular. It's better. It's better than what it was 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, people were not speaking English. You were lucky if you sat there and found signs that were in English.
Really? Wow.
And like at least now it's easy because, you know,
The translator
maps
app
and
and stuff
GPS
like that.
are so good and everything like that. Google Translate's perfect. Like
And your phone, you have to do anything special with your phone when you go there?
No.
No, it just works?
Yeah, it just works.
Okay.
T-Mobile, and turn on the roaming. So T-Mobile has that thing where if you travel outside the country, you get free data and free text messaging.
What?
And so, like, and they have like 150 countries and stuff. Just so happens Japan's one of them. So you get a text right away saying like, yeah, you have free data and you have. It's just like normal. It's just, you just don't get like 4G LTE. You get.
Right.
You get like 2G, you get free data on a 2G network, which is fine.
Like you're back in 2005.
Exactly, yeah.
What the hell is this?
It's like your iPhone just became a flip phone,
Right.
but you have data.
Right.
But no, it was. So I had the 2 students that came in, and it was funny because they were just like in awe, like what is going on and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's Japan, man. Like you guys we're the foreigners here. Just put your head down and let's just keep walking.
Right.
Like just enjoy it and stuff. And it's expensive if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you're a foreigner and you want to take cabs everywhere, don't do that. Don't do that. Like you want to take the train system. You want to walk and do what everyone else is doing. Everyone's doing that for a reason because it's cheap.
Right.
Like we did have to take a cab a couple times because you know those guys had luggage and it was raining. It was like a downpour and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not walking in this garbage.
Right.
But yeah, it can be expensive if you don't know where to go and stuff. But like, you know, you can. It was funny because I was cutting weight for most of the time there, and everyone's like, "Well, Mark, where are you going to go eat and stuff?" I'm going to go eat at 7-Eleven, man, because there's 7-Elevens like on the East Coast, Wawa, like they have fresh sandwiches made and everything like that. And I'm like, man, it's like Whole Foods in here.
No sushi? No sushi?
They do. You can get sushi virtually anywhere there.
Yeah. What is it?
It's okay.
It's okay?
It's not bad. It's
Not
not like
bad?
that. Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm just worried
Some
about
awesome
that.
snowboarding in Japan, Zito.
That's what I heard,
There
too.
is.
Yeah.
There is.
I don't know. Isn't some people talk about the radiation still of it in the water there?
So it makes me nervous about Japan, the radiation from that.
Adam's like, we got better snowboarding in Bosnia, bro. Come over here.
84 Olympics, man. You know, I don't know. I don't think it was Japan. I think it was in China. Someone told me like if you go to the 7-Eleven or those convenience stores, they actually sell air because the pollution is so bad. You can buy like a can of air to breathe.
Yeah, I think that's in China.
Yeah.
That's
it's
crazy.
It's like I hear. I've never been to mainland China. I've been to Hong Kong plenty of times, but I've never been to mainland China. But I have some friends that say it's pretty dirty. So that's, I mean, I can tell you. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're selling air.
Damn, dude.
I would not be surprised.
Right?
crazy.
Is that where,
Yeah, that's
is that where we're at now?
Yeah. Well, there, billion people,
Yeah.
billion plus. How many people now? It's got over a billion.
Like, everybody's got a bottle of water now. But like 20 years ago, that was like a big thing. Like, what? I'm not paying for water.
Right.
You know what I
Water
mean?
costs more than gas.
Yeah.
Think about it, man. You buy like a Fuji, big Fuji's like $5, not a gallon.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
It's true.
Dude, that's what's next, dude. Here's some clean air. Here's a can of clean air.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm actually going into this hyperbaric chamber, and that's kind of like I guess that's to some extent like being in a can of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because I think what they do, I'm not certain. I think what they do is you're breathing pure oxygen, which kind of helps your body stimulate kind of like repair. You know, if you're injured, if you have a wound or something.
Right.
So I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you also float.
Yeah, I do everything, man. Floating,
Cryotherapy?
cryotherapy. I go to that. I like doing hot and cold. Like I'll go to the sweat lodge, and then I'll stay in the sauna. And then when I feel kind of like really, really hot, then I'll jump into the cold. I go right into the ice. I mean, I remember like my wife telling me, "Oh, that's how you're going to get a heart attack." That's what they say in the old country. You know, like don't mix extremes. And, and then recently, someone actually did die back in the old country.
So she was right, huh?
But you know, I still don't know. But from what I understand, this recent situation where the guy died was after a march. Like they were marching from one city to another city, so the guy was physically exhausted from doing physical activity.
Right.
So then if you go into like an extreme cold, it then might put more stress on your heart. Right. But I think this place wouldn't be open if people are getting heart attacks. You know, like, because everyone's doing that. Everyone's going hot, cold, hot, cold.
Is it one of those like Russian bathhouses?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah. It's the one I go to is on Cicero and Addison.
Okay.
Right around there. And if the guys here in the Chicagoland area, you know, sometimes people are looking for ways to cut weight and stuff. If you don't know about this place, it's a gem. Have you guys been there?
No.
Have you been there, Mark?
I've not there.
Well, you guys got to check it out. It's they got 2 saunas, one dry, one wet. Then they have the cold pool, and then they have a restaurant inside this space, which is a really good food, really healthy options and stuff like that. So it's like a place just for relaxing. So definitely check it out.
What's it called?
It's called Chicago Sweat Lodge, I believe. The Sweat Lodge. Yeah, really cool spot. There's another one called the Red Square.
That's over on Division, right?
Yeah, that was on Division. I like this one, Sweat Lodge, a little bit better. I like the restaurant there a little bit better.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know they did like ice baths there too.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people doing ice baths like out of like a garbage can, where it's like you got to like crawl in that thing and like also have a couple of buddies, because like there's no way you're gonna have the strength to just like pop right out of it either.
Can you imagine if you sat there just a minute too long and you're just by yourself? How the hell are you gonna get out of this damn
That happened to a friend of ours.
He was in the tub. Yeah.
He was in the tub for like, he said he was in there for like 6 or 7 minutes. You're only supposed to do it for like 2 or 3. Right. He said he was fighting for his life to get out. Like he thought he was going to die. That's how hard he was fighting to get out of the bathtub.
you have to have someone there with you.
What happened? I remember, I don't know if you told me or I heard on the podcast, you were electrocuted, right? You were hanging in the ceiling. Yeah. How did you get off that? Like you were, what happened? You were hanging in the ceiling?
Yes, I was hanging in an access panel that was like, I don't know, 2 foot by 2 foot. Like I literally had to do like a diving motion to get up there, up to my armpits. And the circuit hit my finger here, and I was grounded. Well, I was grounded by the ceiling grid, like on my chest, but I was really grounded when my other hand hit a sprinkler pipe, and I was just
grounded means like you can't get electrocuted?
No,
like
grounded means like
you complete the circuit.
You complete the circuit, right? So if I have my 2 fingers here, like I'm holding up a peace sign, I touch a hot wire and then I ground my other finger, the circuit is completed through my 2 fingers, and that's what we call a shock, right? When the circuit is completed through your chest, that's being electrocuted. When the circuit is completed from, like, let's say your right hand to your left foot, crossbody, that's instant, you're gone.
Oh, wow.
How is that, you said? When it's what?
When it goes from like your right hand to your left foot, like cross body, you're dead immediately, instantly. Yeah.
So how'd you get off that?
So 2 of my coworkers pulled me through the ceiling.
Did they get some of that electricity from that?
No. They had rubber boots. They were standing on a hardwood floor. Mm-hmm. But they pulled the whole ceiling through with me. I got, see that scar right there?
Wow.
That is from a drywall screw. Just being like ripped through.
Right through.
Bit my whole tongue. Like almost bit my tongue in half just because everything clinches down, you know. It's not really like the movies where you're like, you know, your hair goes nuts and it's like, you know. It's
You're
not
just-
like that. You're completely still.
Like a knockout, like just go stiff.
Stiff.
Yeah.
Completely stiff.
And do you remember when this is happening? You're
Totally lucid.
You're
The
really
whole
the whole
time. Oh, yeah.
time. You're
the
just
whole
like,
time.
"Fuck."
That's the torture about it. You're like, I can't do anything.
and feeling pain.
Yeah, so my whole upper body was locked down, completely locked shut. But my legs were totally fine. Like I could kick, and so the access panel was like a couple of feet away from a wall. So I have both my feet on this wall, and I'm pushing. I'm squatting on this thing to get off, and I couldn't get off it.
Wow.
And I pushed as hard as I could. I couldn't get off it, so I'm like, I got to attract attention. So I just start kicking the wall. I put like 50 holes in this wall, and I went in between pushing off of it and kicking and pushing and kicking. 2 laborers walk in. They look up at me, right? They can't see anything, right? But I could see down at them. I'm up in the dark. They're in the light. I could see them. They can't see me. They think I'm hanging because all they see is legs flailing, you know? So they didn't do anything. They ran out. They told my 2 coworkers who were in the corridor next to it, they're like, yo, your guy, blah, blah. They both run in. They're like, oh, shit. They knew I was getting electrocuted, and they just, boom, pulled me through the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they crack a joke and just leave? Like,
Right.
They don't know.
Paul fucking around again.
Look at this guy.
Popped his cherry. Like, what? Popped your cherry? This happens a lot? I quit, dude. I tell you what, man. You only get electrocuted once, though. I mean, hopefully. But, like, after that, I was like John Wayne with the fucking testers. I had, like, they were, you know what I mean? I was like, I made sure everything was off before I touched it after that.
Do you have anything health
He has
after
superpowers.
that?
He has superpowers now. He can play the guitar really well.
Yeah.
You charge your phone on his head.
Wireless charging, just drop it on him.
I went for an EKG, like, not even the night of, like a couple of months later, just to make sure there wasn't any like scarring in the heart or anything. And they're like, no, you're good.
How long were you being shocked for, do you think? Like,
it felt like a minute and a half, but in reality it was probably like 20 seconds. You know, it just felt like an eternity. But it was to the point where, so when the 2 guys walked in, looked up at me, and then walked out of the room, it was at that moment where it's like, I'm dead. Like that, those 2 guys were my last hope, and they just walked out. I'm like, I'm dead for sure. And I had flashbacks of my childhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not the voltage that kills you; it's the amperage, right? So, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how many amps were you like attached to?
It was a 20 amp lighting circuit.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a lot. I mean, if it was like,
That's still
if it was
20
like
amp breaker. Is still
40 amp, or if the voltage was higher, like 220, it like if I was stuck to that for 20 seconds, I'd be gone. But like stuck to 110 is just like, it'll kill you, but it'll torture you a little bit.
cook.
It's a slow cook.
cook.
It's a slow cook. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I was 21. 21 years old. Can you imagine if I died at work? I mean, like,
Yeah. You weren't even a white belt then, were you?
I was a white belt in electrical work.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
what year were you at the academy here by us?
2008 to 2010. Yeah. And then nothing from 2010 to 2014. Just pulled one of those.
You retired when you got the
I
blue belt,
retired,
right?
yeah. And I came back out of retirement. Found my way back
You're one
on
of
the
those
map.
guys like, oh, I got a blue belt now. I'm going to Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm out here.
That's a true thing, right? I heard
Oh,
that a
yeah.
lot. A lot of people, after they get their blue belt, they're just like, just going to chill, kick back a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I used
Chill
to.
less.
I would always sit there and during belt promotions and stuff like that. And I was just like, all right, congratulations on your blue belt. And I would literally sit there and call all the blue belts or just point at them and stuff like that. I'm like, take a look to your left and to your right. Some of you guys are going to go straight Hollywood and never come back.
Wow.
I would just call them straight
Do you
out.
call them out? That's
I call
smart.
everybody out. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. Like, yeah. And then I've always sat there and thought, like, once you get your purple belt, you're at that crossroads point right there. And I always tell people, I'm like, your first year as a purple belt is going to basically tell me if you're going to be a black belt or not.
Really?
Because within your first year as a purple belt, once you get it, I've seen people quit. And they literally just will walk away and like, I've literally done everything I need to do in jiu-jitsu. And that's it.
And what is it?
Within the first year. But if they stick it out, they're black. They're going to be black belts.
Yeah.
That's what I've always sat there and thought. That's what what I've
Is
seen.
it they get discouraged by that bump in competitive level? Like once they're at purple, they're like, oh, this is a different animal.
I think so. I mean, especially like my team's historically been a bunch of competitors, and just like the fight and stuff.
Gee, I wonder why.
I don't know.
But purple's it's a longer road to brown, right? From like white to blue is a pretty quick road, right? But
Some people.
I noticed like the guys who retire at blue belt. I just from my just reflecting a little bit on it, it typically is the guys who like took them a long time to get the blue belt. Like 3 years. I guess it's almost like a black belt to them when they get it. That's from my experience. I noticed. So yeah, I think maybe they think the gap is too big at the next level, and who knows?
Well, yeah, it's really tough to say. I think most people spend the most amount of their jiu-jitsu journey at blue. It's for me, it's that teenage belt. You got a lot of growing up to do in that teenage belt. It's funny, like with belts and everything like that. I always say like, okay, when you're a white belt, it's like you're a kid. You're completely dependent on your instructor. Like you're 100% completely dependent on them. Or even like a relationship. When you first fall in love with somebody, start dating them, you're like, oh, I love you. I'm always going to be by your side. I'm always going to hold your hand. All that fun stuff.
open the door.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to open the door for you.
Yeah.
And then you get a blue belt, and like, all of a sudden you're like a teenager.
Right.
And you're like, man, I know what the hell I'm doing. Don't talk to me and stuff like that.
I'm
Like,
going out with the guys this weekend.
and then all of a sudden, exactly, and then you're all of a sudden sick of, you say like from a relationship standpoint, you're just completely sick of your girlfriend and everything like that.
Yeah.
You're sick of your school. You're like, man, I'm gonna go do this. What are we doing today? What are we doing? Guard passing? I don't even pass guard. Like, what's the new thing going on with lapel gun? I'm doing that.
Right.
And but you see it, and it's funny. It happens time and time again. And all of a sudden, and it's like, you realize that you, like going back to like the child perspective, you realize like you're not a teenager anymore. You sat there and realized that you now have bills. Like you get your purple belt and you're like, oh shit.
Mom's making me pay for my cell phone bill.
Like, oh man, I got responsibilities now and everything else, and everyone's really good at the purple belt level. And like also from like a relationship standpoint, you're like, all right, I kind of need that person and stuff like that. Like I'm really lonely, and and she treated me well. But like so I mean, you become codependent on everyone else and stuff. And then at purple belt though, I see a lot of people quit within that first year, because you really went through a lot as a blue belt.
Yeah.
Like if you sat there and survived nowadays as a blue belt, because the range of the skill level of blue belts now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I've seen blue belts just trounce other black belts, and you're like, what the hell just happened there? And it happens. I know. I'm sure you've seen it too, and you'll see some really good blue belts just completely annihilate black belts out there, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
State champ in wrestling, coming in and just like, oh.
Yeah, and you see like let's call it the average blue belt, the guy who, let's say jiu-jitsu was his first or her first art or sport or whatever you want to call it. And then they run across that blue belt who's got 8 years of wrestling or judo or something like that, and they can't comprehend it. But this guy's got 8 years on you.
Yeah, right.
So if you're looking at it, he's kind of like a black belt.
Yeah.
Or,
he could move his body like a black belt.
Yeah.
At least,
Exactly. I mean, there's traits there that he can exhibit, which honestly some black belts might not even be able to emulate. So I mean, it's different nowadays, and like you see. That's why I said, like, if you can make it through that first year at purple, you actually have that understanding of, like the range is so vast and everything else. And, you can understand that you've accepted it and you're willing to sit there and retool yourself and almost reinvent yourself at purple belt. Like I know I did. I needed to. I mean, I don't know about you, Adam, but I basically needed to. My whole game kind of changed, and it completely changed, and it kind of went all full back. Well, it's become all full circle now.
Yeah.
But I remember maybe second year as a purple belt. That's when I started really competing a lot. I was losing a lot and winning a lot at the same time, but I was just putting myself out there, and I realized I needed to change a lot of stuff. By the time I got a brown belt, it was like, okay, my game's not what it was when I first got my purple belt. It completely changed. But I mean, it's tough. It's tough nowadays growing up in the jiu-jitsu world, especially if you're a competitive type of person or if you're just always like very critical of yourself, because new stuff's always happening. The fundamentals of what we knew as jiu-jitsu, they're always changing.
Yeah.
They just always do change. So, kudos to everyone that makes it nowadays. You got to learn a lot. So, us old guys, we're just like, oh, we got here already. We're good.
Yeah, it's amazing how it stays fresh. Can you imagine if it was just a curriculum we mastered 20 years ago? Oh, I'm so bored of it.
Yeah, that's very true.
But it's funny though. I mean, Adam's got so many students and so many school affiliates and everything else. I'm sure you've seen the basics of what you call your fundamental curriculum change. Yeah. Maybe even on a monthly basis for sure. Just like, okay, this whole move set, these 50 movements are our fundamental core curriculum. And then December 1st comes and you're like, oh man, we got to scrap like 40% of this because it's not even relevant anymore. Right. And it constantly evolves and changes. And the next thing you know, a year and a half from now, like, man, we got to go back to that because that's like it's relevant again. And it just constantly changes and evolves, and and sometimes the evolution goes back to where you first started and stuff. So it's really fun stuff. It's really, I don't know about you, but Adam, but I literally will look and see at on social media like, oh, check out this new move I'm doing. I'm like, man, we've been doing that. People are just like,
you see that a lot.
You see it a lot. I'm just like, what the hell, man? Really? And then you look at their Instagrams and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, like 10,000 likes, and you're like, shit, dude. Really? I'm gonna post a clip of me tying a belt.
Right.
Myself. That's gonna get like 30,000 likes and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
I forget. I think it was Maneka or someone was like, yeah, and then you do this, and they were like showing a Darce or whatever. And he's like, and then you go in here to Darce them, and Maneko's like, yeah, I guess they like name chokes now, because like I guess he comes from the school of like, that's a choke, this is a choke, there's a choke here, this, you know what I mean? But like now there's just like a name for everything,
right?
Like as an instructor, like because you train under Carlson Senior as well, and we had Jason Bender in here last episode, and he was like, yeah, Carlson would be like, no, we're doing this again and again and again because it sucked last week. You suck at it today. you know what I mean? I don't want you to suck at it tomorrow. We're doing the same stuff, And I mean, as an instructor and coming from that, but also seeing the way everyone else does it through social media now, and then plus trying to, retain students and keep their interest because, of course, they want to do Baron Bolos like, the Mendez brothers. And, like, how do you find that balance?
It's tough. I mean, it really, really is. Again, I run, for lack of better terms, a competition school. So it's always a struggle trying to stay fresh and also trying to make sure that every single one of every single member of my team stays relevant with all the fundamentals and understands the concepts of what you need to do. And it's tough because like there's some people who like, hey, I want to learn how to berimbolo people. I'm like, just so you know, you're 5'4" and about 240 pounds. You're built like a goddamn bowling ball.
Right.
Like you either lose the weight. Can you touch your toes? Can you
right.
And like, yeah. So I can show you something that's like a berimbolo, but you might want to kind of gravitate towards something. So it's my approach to the whole thing is I try to teach people stuff that's going to be relevant to their body type and their styles already.
Yeah.
I'll never withhold information. I'll be like, okay, I'll show you, but you might want to also consider doing these things too. But this is the answer to your question. Like, and this is the answer to your question. I'll show you exactly how to berimbolo and everything else and all the details. And they'll look at me like, man, that's pretty hard. I'm like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
But like, but we can work on this. If you eventually want to do that, you need to have a good understanding of De La Hiva and all the hooks and controls there too. Have some offense from there. You have to have an understanding of just normal spider guard. Like some people just can you retain your guard?
Right.
Oh, what's that? I'm a top guy, but I want to berimbolo. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like it's always a struggle to kind of do that, but when I teach my fundamentals classes, the fundamental classes, I try to teach everyone the same move set. And I try to get them to basically a super good white belt level or a blue belt level, at which point I basically tell them, now you're ready to go out there and start searching the web and going nuts and trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
And I want you to go try to follow somebody. Follow someone out that's out there right now. Follow your Edwin Najmis. Follow your Gary Tonins. Follow like Bushesha. Follow whoever you want. Be a fan of someone and study their game and try to do their moves, because you're eventually going to figure out your own style and your own move set, and we can work on that.
Right.
So it's like I don't like to cookie cutter blueprint, put everyone through that cookie cutter blueprint and make the same person over and over and over and over and over again. If they gravitate towards the stuff they like to do, like, awesome, I'll show you exactly what I did.
Right.
But that's like really rare. I have like 2 guys that can completely emulate my game. Out of how many? Out of hundreds.
Right.
So, but like I encourage it. I completely encourage, like, guys, let's just go ahead and cater towards your individuality and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced the exact same thing too. Yeah. You have a core curriculum, and other people just want to sit there and gravitate away from it, and I encourage it. I'm like, all right, let's go. Yeah. Go do your thing.
Yeah, I think. I listened to that podcast, and I think he was referring to Carlson would make them do the same move.
The same
right?
move over, yeah.
We do kind of the same thing. I think as an instructor, sometimes you can entertain your students. Imagine you show them something very flashy, and you hear them say, "Wow," and they're entertained by it. Yeah. And some instructors, they might like entertaining, always showing cool stuff, and maybe that might be good to retain the student. Like, hey, you're learning all this cool stuff, keep coming back. But I do personally believe in that 10,000 hour rule. Yeah. I mean, it's not black and white, but generally, if you do anything enough times, you're gonna get good at it. So that's what we kind of push to. Yeah. Like because in the past I would show something new every day, and then I noticed sometimes the people feel like they know it all, but they're not good at anything because they've seen everything, but they're not really proficient at anything. So we push that too. But I think anytime you make a curriculum, I think it's impossible to have the perfect curriculum because if all 4 of us put together what we feel are the most important techniques, for sure it's not going to be a consensus on the first try. We all have the same things. So the jiu-jitsu there's so much knowledge out there. To confine it to a curriculum, I think it's very difficult. But I think for the martial artist, the jiu-jitsu guy, his school is very important. His instructors are very important. But I do think in this journey, man, you are responsible for most of your development. Like you have some people, they're going to try and complain at anything. Oh, my instructor is insufficient, or my environment is insufficient, or whatever. I've met some people who've come from environments that are not really, producing many champions, but they become a champion because it's something within them. They're going to go above and beyond and look for answers. And I think that, I obviously have my teachers, they taught me a lot, but a lot is just kind of on your own, figuring things out on your own. You can't expect your teachers to teach you every single thing. And, like you were referring to, sometimes, it's not going to benefit you to learn their game because they have a different personality than you and a different body type or whatever. But I think as long as you have a good community, good instructors, be ready to be searching within on this journey. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of answers you're going to have to find on your own. It's great to have great references, especially today. Like right now, you can go online and learn from the best instructors And of course, it's not going to substitute the real training, but man, there was a time when you have to go on a boat to find these guys. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Now you're paying like 10 minutes, you set up an account or whatever, and you have the knowledge there.
Yeah.
So
Remember back in the day when we had to get VHS tapes and try to find like rewinders and all these like the guy like so like all that stuff, trying to like make copies of VHS tapes.
and they were very expensive.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It was like $500 sets and stuff like that.
I gotta ask you, did you have the Grappler's Notebook? That $400 like big binder was like a Trapper Keeper.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't have it though.
Oh, I had one of those.
Do you still have it?
It's in the Philippines.
Oh, is it?
It's there. It exists.
Okay.
It's still there. You
Right.
know what? Next time I go back there, I will find it. I will bring it back and I will show it to you guys.
Did you give it to somebody, or is it just kind of sitting there?
It's just sitting there.
Oh man,
It's
because that'd be
literally just
awesome if you
sitting there.
gave it to somebody and then like you go back 2 years later, the dude whoops your ass. He's just like, I've just been reading this binder for 2 years and training.
It looks like a huge Trapper Keeper. It's like this
That was
thick.
Lloyd Irvin's thing, was it?
No, that's the grappling blueprint.
Oh,
It's like the
Blueprint.
grappling notebook. I forget who made it. I don't know. It was like who knows, but literally it's like a step by step type deal thing from like the old Gracie mag. Like remember the old Gracie mags too? Would have like this one whole page, and you would start standing, and they would end like an arm bar down here, in the opposite corner and stuff like that. But I mean, to kind of touch back on like your question and everything like that. I do also believe in, like you said, the 10,000 hour rule and stuff like that. But I try to make everyone do it more in warm-ups. That's why I believe warm-ups are so important.
Yeah.
I understand no one wants to do snakes anymore or sprawls or anything like that. But if you really think about it, especially for the beginners, you're learning jiu-jitsu there.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to sit there and teach you jiu-jitsu through warm-ups than it is to left hand goes here, apply this much pressure here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So, I mean, but I can, and I have this argument all the time with, some people, like, honestly, with parents of some of our kids' students, like, oh, when are they going to learn the new stuff? I'm like, your son doesn't even know how to move. Like, let's teach them how to move first and
Right.
everything else. So, I mean, like, let's get these movements ingrained. It's like the same thing with swimming. If you think about it, swimming. Come on. How do you practice swimming? Go swim.
Right.
Go swim like you freestyle. Just go swim. Your normal like front crawl for 2 hours. Go.
Yeah, I heard like Steve Maxwell, he doesn't even teach, like if he has a client or student, if they can't like put their heel to their butt or do some basic like, body
Movement, yeah.
mechanics, he doesn't teach them.
Yeah.
They got to learn that stuff before they learn the jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't blame it. It's so important, especially with some of the guys who sometimes your average Joes don't understand the concept of actually just moving their hips correctly. As all the four of us know, jiu-jitsu is all about controlling your hips. If you're passing guard, controlling the other person's hips. If you're playing guard, being able to move your hips and mobility and everything else. It's people forget that some of the repetition that you need to do isn't always super technical. Sometimes it's just motor skills that you need to refine. Your hip escapes, your technical stand-ups, your how to properly take a shot, how to properly knee walk, how to properly do a sit-out, little things like that. Literally just how to get up from off your knees
Right.
with good posture. So that way you don't just get killed over. You don't just like look like you're keeling over and
Right,
dying when someone tries to sweep you. But little things like that. And like for me, it's you need to drill that basically every day. And you need to understand conceptually what the payoff is there. And if you don't understand what the conceptual payoff is, then you're never going to get the most out of it. You're never going to put 100% effort in warming up, to be honest with you, and doing those little drills. Sometimes your partner drills, like, just grip fighting. Man, like, I don't know about you, Adam, but like my game really, really started accelerating itself once I really started working with a lot of judoka, like Eisbeck, and just grip fighting with him and understanding what he was doing to me and how I can prevent him from controlling me and everything else. But once I understood that and started really just training grips, which is that's not part of anyone's curriculum.
I feel the exact same
It's
way.
not part of anyone's curriculum. Like, you need to learn how to cut grips. And Eisbeck would tell me, it's funny. One day you should have him on this podcast. You've talked to Eisbeck, Adam. His English is so much better now. Like back in 05, 06 when I first met him, he sounded he sounded and literally had the vocabulary of Borat. It was awesome.
Oh man.
I can tell you so many stories about how he was the cause of this big rumble. I'll tell you the story right now. He was the cause of this big rumble between 10 guys on one side, and it was him, me, and these two other guys, and we're like, we're young, it's 06, July of 06, and we're summer, it's hot and everything like that, and had a couple drinks and everything like that.
It was hot out,
and just whatever, and we're out partying, and we're walking. We got all right. Two of us got kicked out of the club. We're at Encore. I didn't even know if Encore's around, but it was on.
I remember the club. I don't think it's still around.
I don't think it's around. I don't think it's around. I don't party no more.
Right.
Like my party is like freaking watching Netflix, watching Netflix and trying to figure out what I want on a pizza. That's
right.
It's my party right now. But so we're out there. We get kicked out of the club and stuff, and our other two friends are out there. So Eisbeck's, just single guy hitting on girls and stuff like that, and whatever. And then the rest of their party comes out, and it's like 10 dudes just roll on out of there. And they're all like yelling at Eisbeck, like, "Oh, get away from my girl." I'm like, dude, we're all just kicked out. We're like waiting for our friends. We have nothing to do. Just relax. So we're walking across the street towards the Rock and Roll McDonald's. And two of our guys, again, there's four guys. Myself, Eisbeck, Mike, and also Chung. And they've already crossed the street, and Eisbeck turns around and basically, I'm going to cuss out of the air, but he turns around, and he's probably going to kick my ass or try to run me over with a car or something like that for telling the story. But he turns around and he points back to these guys, and he's just like, again, his English, he doesn't understand how to talk shit because his vocabulary was just not exactly super extensive. And he flat out points to him and is just like, "I'm going to fuck you in the ass." And he starts making the motion and everything like that. And something in these dudes just sat there and said, like, "That's it, I've had enough." And they started charging. Whoa. And it was like, all of a sudden they're charging. And I'm like running back, and I'm just like, whoa.
Maybe they were into it. Maybe they liked the offer.
I'm like, man, no, man. Like, he's just drunk. It's okay. It's whatever. Not a real big deal. And I don't know who swung first or who did what, but I just see Eisbeck shoot past me. I'm like an offensive lineman, just like pass blocking. And like I'm thinking it's a pass play. And I just see Eisbeck burst through the line and drop a guy.
Wow.
And my immediate reaction was like, "Oh shit, here we go." And I just got clocked immediately, just clocked. And what erupted was a big rumble. Out in that intersection that just got broken up. It took a while for it to get broken up, but it got broken up, and it was over. And that's what you do when you're young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do
Good
little
times,
dumb things
man.
and stuff like that.
All right, Adam, your turn. Any street fight stories?
Yeah,
you don't strike me as the guy who ever been in too many street fights, but
my brother was a problematic guy growing up. He had enough fights for everyone in our family. But I've had my fair share. When I was like 20 years old, my brother used to be a nightclub promoter here in Chicago, and
Eddie.
Yeah, and eventually I ended up getting the job for checking IDs and stuff like that. So, I mean, there was one story. I don't know how much details we can get into, but
are they still looking for
statute
you or
of
something?
limitations is up at it.
is there really a statute of limitations?
7 years.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you might be good.
So there was one situation in particular that was really interesting. There was a nightclub that was owned by one of the MMA fighters on our team. His name was Von Paleli. He was like a guy from New Zealand.
Badass name.
Yeah.
You remember Von Paleli?
I don't.
He fought we used to have the Ironheart Crowns here in Indiana. And so he was a heavyweight. He was like a big guy, and this was his nightclub. And we were working there. It was me, my brother, my cousin Idris was his first night working with us. He was like 18 years old checking IDs. You know what I mean? He was not, he should not have been in the club.
Idris was coming on the podcast soon, or so he told me. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm busy, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna
Calling him out right now on air.
Yeah.
So I remember, and again, there is something about, I think we go through these different chapters in life. When you're young, I think you're trying to prove yourself or what, but you're more inclined to doing stupid stuff. And
Sure.
I remember there was basically a lot of athletes in this nightclub. Vaughn the owner was an MMA fighter. Bulgarian. I told the Bulgarian Barry story last time, right?
Yeah.
The Bulgarian Barry was there too. He was in the club, ready to footlock somebody.
Just ready to die for the feet.
A Minari roll somebody. And I remember the owner. This was New Year's Eve, and so it wasn't like a regular night. I was behind the cash register. Idris was outside checking the IDs. Eddie, Barry, and Vaughn, and all those guys, they were just sitting down in the booth having a good time. And I remember the owner came up to me, and he was like, I need you to throw somebody out. And again, I was young and intoxicated a little bit, and I was like, okay, no problem. And then I have full confidence. I felt my brother, we felt like we ruled the city.
Yeah.
And I remember I went downstairs to get the guy, and I was explaining to him, like, hey, man, you got to go. And he was compliant. There's no problem. That was on the basement level. And as we started walking up to go out, his friends saw that he was being escorted out of the club, and then now they wanted answers. What's going on? This and that. And the guy, now he wasn't compliant. He was basically standing his ground, like, I'm not going nowhere. And they were being belligerent, like they had a camera taking pictures of my face and stuff. And now this was a clear mistake on my part. I shouldn't have done this, but again, I'm young. I'm just trying to prove myself, and I ended up punching the guy. And then the scuffle happened, and I don't. Maybe the legend in my mind again it changes, but how I remember was I saw my brother stood up, and he from like a second level, I can see he stood up, and in my mind the music stopped, and everybody's kind of like looking at him like the lion walking. So he's just doing a quick read of what's going on, and then the guy that I'm engaged with, he grabs him by the neck, and he starts escorting him outside. So then now we basically push these guys out the club, and another error on my end, ego. As we push these guys out, I spit on the guy.
Oh, damn.
Again, this is life.
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
Young bucks.
Yeah, being stupid, insecure.
Yeah.
And Idris is outside. The whole time he doesn't know what's going on. There's like 3 steps outside the club, and he basically just sees all these people get pushed out, and he sees that I come and I spit on the guy. Yeah. And then Idris, the guy who I spit on is right in front of Idris. So Idris looks at him, and Idris spits on him too. So
this is a thing. We're going to spit on everybody. It's a thing.
Yeah. And then basically, so then this guy muffs Idris. I don't know if that's the word, but he took his hand, like pushed Idris's head down. Uh-huh. So this is my younger cousin. I jump off these 3 stairs with a flying punch.
Damn, so Superman punch off the top stair?
I don't know what it was called. I just
Adem off the top turnbuckle.
So now basically it's a street fight. This thing poured out into the club. And again, I don't know, my brother, my brother, he's pretty good with his feet and his hands. He's trained Thai boxing and this and that. So as the fight's going outside, I remember this sequence, like my brother's basically walking a line, Thai kicking guys. He Thai kicked one guy, the guy collapsed. The next guy, he Thai kicked the guy collapsed. I look, Dino Castillas was there. And I look and I see Dino Castillas is doing a straight up technical boxing combination on a guy. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like he was very good with his hands. Right. So we had everybody there. And I remember, now basically these guys got handled pretty well. We go back inside, and the police come shortly later. Once the police come, we go upstairs. In this nightclub, you couldn't tell from the outside, but there's a loft above the nightclub. So that was Vaughn's place. We kind of went up there and we're looking outside, seeing the police inside the club, and we're so stupid and just kind of laughing like they're never going to find us. You know what I mean? But then the people, they were looking for us for a while. The person who got beat up, his mother was a judge or something, and it could have been a big problem. Oh, wow. But statute of limitation has cleared us of anything, and I think just the big message. I don't want to say this like now to pump chest, right? Like look, the thing is like a lot could have gone wrong. I know a lot of people who have this tendency of getting into fights. They have no peace, man. You go to eat somewhere, you have to look over your shoulder. If you fight with someone who's got, a strong family, their family's going to be looking for some type of... Yeah. So this whole situation of fighting, I remember most of these fights that... actually, I haven't seen a fight since I stopped working in a nightclub. Unless I'm watching TV or something. So as far as self-defense, being smart, whenever there's people who are drunk, drinking... those areas tend to have the higher risk of something, popping off. So, looking back, I think we are basically insecure. You go to fight so you can, so your friends can see that how tough you are. It's because you don't have any security. You're insecure. So that's what it was, and it's actually pretty lame. Like looking back at it now, it is very lame. It's something that if there's any young guys looking out, listening to the podcast, and if you have this pressure from your friends to prove yourself, you have to get new friends.
Yeah, I
agree.
The topic comes 100%. Up on the podcast every once in a while about like street fights, and we definitely don't want to glorify it, although it's really hard to tell a story of like your former douchebag self without kind of laughing about it. But every time the topic comes up, especially when we're talking to black belts that have just been in the game for over a decade, and like their head just kind of like goes down a little bit. They're like, oh God, like I have to tell the story of my worst possible self, kind of, right? 100%. And I don't know. Have you noticed that, Tito? Like whenever we bring up,
but I mean that's just part of growing up.
It
absolutely is. And like the PSA there, the public service announcement there is just basically like we were all douches, and
for sure.
Just you're gonna make douchebag mistakes, and you don't think that you're not going to. You're going to,
and hopefully you get lucky and nothing major happens.
Try not to make a whole bunch of them.
Exactly. And the thing is, as far as relating these bad decisions with jiu-jitsu and everything else, I'll be honest with you, since then, I haven't really been in any altercation in any way, shape, or form. I've walked away from every single potential altercation. And, it's you realize after that, like, you get into an altercation, something bad happens, and nowadays, everyone's got cameras and everything like that. Right. It's going to come back and it's going to hurt you, and you're not going to be able to train. You're not going to be able to do what you want.
And one note, how there's a common thing: don't pull guard on the street.
Yeah.
My friend pulled guard in the street and broke someone's like orbital. You know what I mean? Like
what?
So either is in this story again. So like we were working in this nightclub, and my cousin, who was he's still a white belt. He's trained on and off, and mostly off, but basically, like for some reason, there was someone in the club that just had it out for him. Just was, I guess he thought he was talking to his girlfriend or whatever, and this guy. And
it's always about a girl, isn't it?
Yeah. And Idris kind of, from what I remember of the story, when Idris saw that this guy had a problem with my friend, his name is Jasmine. When he had a problem with him, either was like, okay, let's go outside and resolve the problem. And it's funny hearing my friend Jasmine tell the story, because he was like, when Idris said that, he was like, what the hell are you doing? I don't want to fight. Right. So he's like, basically, Idris kind of like organized the fight on his behalf, and he just kind of
bets.
Yeah. Idris' thought was like, hey, you have a problem, let's go resolve it.
Right.
And then when they went outside, my friend Jasmine, he wears these still today. He wears those fancy shoes with the heel like that, little heel.
Right.
And he basically pulled guard and then up kicked the guy in the face, and that was it.
That was it.
So I'm of course I'm not going to say, hey, that's smart strategy, but hey, don't
Don't
discriminate
knock it.
that
Right.
guard puller,
Yeah,
man.
right,
It's-
right.
It can be still always a threat.
Pull guard, man. I can pull guard on the street now.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna say like, "Oh, it's a good way to get kicked in the head," but like if you're on top of a guy punching him, you get kicked in the head there too.
I saw that too. I saw one street fight. There's a club called Rave Gouche. It's Red 05.
Red 05, I remember that.
All these
Oh
clubs,
my
they changed their names. But I remember one time there was a guy, close guard. He's working close guard in a street fight. And then the other guy comes from behind and kicks him in the head.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Forget it. He's working close guard on the street. No, you don't work close guard on the street.
And another...
It's crazy.
We're going to start going all
Keep going. Let's go. Red 05, what else are you going to bring up?
There's one in Red 05. This one I heard from a third person, but it involved my brother and Dino, because they're good friends. They kind of came up together. And because, again, I hear certain things, and I'm like, hey, I actually saw, like people say collar chokes don't have no self-defense, kind of value. Well, there was a situation. Dino used to work in the Red 05. He was one of the security there or something, and those guys are used to dealing with drunk people all the time. So I guess there was some guy kind of disrespecting him, and my brother was next to him, and the guy's going off this and that, and my brother just puts his hand on the guy's collar and puts him to sleep. Just like this, boom, boom.
That's it.
Yeah, feeds the collar, they throw him out.
It's great.
But I mean, anything can happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can see some drunk guy, of course you can collar choke him. You don't know what's going on.
I was I got into quite a few street fights back when I was like 19 and 20. And, it was
You're
actually
Irish.
Yeah, exactly. That also, that's true. But when I went to Lincoln Square in 2008, that was like, I think I've only, and that was a long time ago, I think I've only been in one street fight since then. And the guy started with me and punched me in the face. Yeah. But it wasn't until I started jiu-jitsu where I was like, oh my God, I'm not tough at all. You know what I mean? Like before I was like, I'm bad, dude. Right. I'm fucking bad.
Right.
And then I was like, I went over to Gracie Ba and I was like, I am not bad at all. I am the scum on the bottom of people's shoes. That's how bad I am at fighting, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a combination of like I just needed an outlet or I needed to eat a whole lot of humble pie or just kind of like you think you're good, you're not that good.
It's just so like I walk around now like because I train so much that like I walk around like an old man. I'm like walking like just so slow on the street. I'm just like everything hurts, And I'm just thinking to myself, man, if someone wanted to fight me right now, I don't know what I would do. Like, here, just take my wall. I don't take anything you need. I just don't want to fight right now. I fight every day.
Yeah.
I don't want. Last thing I want to do is fight. I just want to relax.
Yeah,
relax.
those people who, I mean, imagine a young guy who doesn't have that outlet.
Right.
And he's looking to prove himself. He's got this energy. We don't got the energy, man. We use the energy wisely. We train.
Right.
And we prove ourselves. You win, you lose, and you gain that sense of security.
Right.
But it can be a dangerous thing. You being young, having no physical outlet for your energy, and trying to prove yourself in the society, and
and just hanging out in the corner, just waiting for someone to come by and just look at you wrong, and just like what up, and just jumping on them.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but you really don't hear a lot about martial artists, not just jiu-jitsu guys, but martial artists getting into a bunch of street fights and stuff like that. Like them being the cause.
Right.
Like they might get like jumped or whatever, and they handle themselves and they protect themselves. But
Sure.
I think part of being a martial artist in general is just like learning to grow up and learning to just avoid situations and everything else. And I mean, call it self-defense, call it common sense.
Yeah.
You just realize that certain fights, for lack of better terms, just aren't worth it. And that's, again, you can call it a part of becoming a good martial artist or just growing up or what have you, but it's just not worth it.
Well, so it's the whole part of
really isn't.
just getting your ego eroded on a daily basis. So like taking something personally, like when you're a younger guy and you're not training and you're sitting there and like that guy just looked at me. That guy, right? Hey, bro, you got a problem? You know what I mean? Like like the guy looked at you and like it's a personal attack. Like you're taking it personally. Well, what party is taking it personally? Right. It's your ego.
Right.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
And then like after just like years of getting your ass kicked on the mats, like all of a sudden you're like, I don't think I have an ego anymore. Right. And thus the guy who's staring you down from across the room, you ain't taking it personally.
No.
You just kind of look over and go, "Oh, poor guy."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
exactly,
Like you feel bad.
Yeah.
You feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you can see it. You know, like it's a poor guy. Exactly.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it a lot.
I mean, that's what you. Like, it's fun. I actually like getting back to like competition jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I kind of laugh all the time when at tournaments when you see like the lower belts and stuff. They throw little shit fits and tantrums on the mat and stuff like that. And
I can't knee bar here.
yeah, stuff like that. It's so good. I mean, it's so good. It's so good when you see that though, and you just can't help but laugh. And you're just like, I can't believe you guys are making such a big fuss about this.
Right.
I'm like, man, you're like a white belt, and this is probably your first tournament ever.
Yeah. According to Adam, the Boston Open. Right. Where's my knee box?
But I mean, like, guys, there's going to be so much more. Relax, man. Just relax. I can't help but just laugh and see it. And I'm sure Adam's seen a bunch. I'm sure you guys have seen a bunch of that stuff.
I love the coaches like going ballistic at the kids matches. They're just like, it's the best. Those little kids are like barely like doing anything, and they're just like, oh, just do this, and they're just going like, it's interesting.
Drives me insane when I hear parents yell out to their kids who are competing, break it.
Oh yeah, no,
I
that's
immediately want to
fucking
run.
crazy.
I've heard that so many
Really?
times.
That's crazy.
Like that's the wonderful world of Naga. Like I've heard that.
I told you that was a trashy tournament.
Man, I've heard like
I'm selling my Naga belt if anyone wants to buy it. It's right there.
No,
Put it
but
on
like
eBay.
I haven't been to Naga in a while and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I know.
part of that was because of that. I'm sure you remember that one time they were in Oak Lawn and they were starting divisions like at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
That was that one. After that, I was like, I can't do this tournament no more. I really can't. I can't afford to waste my whole day like this and like this. And that's when I decided I can't do it.
Right.
But man, I remember times where you would just see parents just yelling at their kids to break other kids' limbs and stuff. And
So weird.
yeah, I'm like, my God.
I remember I saw a guy at Naga
crazy.
after his match went outside to have a cigarette. He was just hanging out. Everyone's he's smoking. Like right out, it's like the outside is like just a step, you know.
Yeah.
So he's basically just walk out. He smoked, telling his buddy about the match. Like,
He's still in his rash guard. Yeah, right.
Oh man, yeah. I remember those days too.
A lot of affliction T-shirts. A lot of parents with like tap
Bejeweled
out
shirts.
inflict. Yeah.
Remember when they first came here? It was like the best. Remember
Oh, it was
Naga?
best?
It was like the first time. It was like finally a real
tournament.
Yeah, that's like the first one, right? Was it Bob Shermer had his little thing?
Yes. And then where was the first Naga? Was that at Cicero Stadium or was that at? I knew they ran it in like Bob helped them out, and they had like a. It was at a high school. That's all I remember.
Yeah, somewhere around here, somewhere like Cicero, Berwyn, or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think it was in Cicero, and I forget exactly what the name of the high school was, but I remember. I think it was there first, and then the second was at Cicero Stadium, and then they went back to that high school. I remember it had a field house and a gym, and they would switch between having it at the field house and everywhere else and stuff. But yeah, like those are the days. Those are great and stuff like that. And now it's
So cool to see all this, right?
Yeah,
See,
it really is. It really is.
Now you have
And
fight to win.
I
Well,
was
we
just
gotta-
going to sit there and say it. Now we have professional shows, and and no offense to Amy and Grappling Games or anything like that, and you because you're fighting at the Grappling
Thank you.
Games Pro
Thanks.
event, of
Thank
course,
you.
Anthony.
My first.
I know your first pro event.
I know.
But Fight to Win is just like they're head and shoulders above everyone else in terms of production value and
It's a
everything
jiu-jitsu rock show.
yeah.
Is what it is.
It's a jiu-jitsu rock show with WWE characteristics too. It's awesome.
Right.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like I'm like if you can honestly name something that you would change about it, what would it be?
Well, Zito thinks they use too much fog.
Listen, at that one event, it was a little
not happy.
foggy.
He's not happy with the amount of fog.
I can no longer see the stage clearly.
I'm just saying because I wear contacts.
Stop
and
it. Don't
it
even
looks like I'm like, is it my eyes are blurry? Am I
It
getting?
was
I know
the
I'm getting
perfect
old.
level of fog.
You're crazy. It was a little much.
Do you think about like just embracing because we're basically professional wrestlers? Embracing the whole professional wrestler image.
Hey, there you go.
I already got the power up. I will tell you right now. I've with a whole bunch of guys on the card and the last card. There is a little bit of a wrestling motif that's coming out, and one of the songs that one of the walkouts that I might come out to may be may be wrestler, WWE wrestler.
You got to bring the props like Jake the Snake.
There you go. Yeah, I wish I could sit there and honestly, we were just throwing around different stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine coming out to American Badass the way the Undertaker did? I would need a motorcycle and drive it up the thing and stuff like that. Can you imagine?
Yeah. That'd be
Sam's
awesome.
gonna look at you like, no.
I think you'd let you do it, honestly. I really
How
think
you
you
get it up the stairs, Mark?
Right.
Like, I don't know, man.
We'll build
I'll
you a
figure it
ramp.
out.
Yeah.
We'll build you a ramp.
Yeah.
You gotta hit this perfectly. You gotta hit this little 8-inch wide little ramp perfectly, and I miss it, and I just
Yeah.
tear this thing
Wasn't there a
apart.
jiu-jitsu guy? I think it was maybe Margarita. He won a motorcycle, and then he got a devastating injury. They got a motorcycle for winning a tournament.
Uh-huh.
Was it him? Was it? You remember
I
this?
knew.
Then they stopped giving them out.
I think it might have been Margarita. I think it might have been Margarita. I forget. I know someone did, but I can't confirm. But I mean, honestly, we have professional jiu-jitsu now here in Chicago. We went from tournaments where we would be there for 12 hours to professional shows that start on time, are streamed, and everything else that have excellent commentary, except for this one because you have Adam commentating. I bet you're going to ask to get people pull double duty. That'd be great.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Can you imagine that? Sit there and just.
That'd be tough. If you were going first, that'd be cool. Okay, I got my match out of the way. Now I could commentate. But the whole time you're trying to commentate, and you got a big match coming up.
I agree.
Sitting there in his gi, just waiting.
No, he's gi with the bow tie. With the bow tie, right?
Right.
What do you do when you right now? How do you conserve your energy? Are you going back and forth cornering your guys on the card? And
Yeah. So I don't clearly we don't know what the fight card looks like.
It's a good way to get rid of nervous energy at the same time, though, right?
It is.
Do
To
a
be
little
honest
bit
with
of
you,
yelling.
I really like being there from start to finish because we have that choice of just coming out whenever we want, and I'll just honestly. Like the last fight to win in Chicago, I was honestly just playing video games on my phone. And then I was just like, wait, you're up? Okay, cool, let's go. And I would just go and corner him and stuff, and I would run back up.
Right.
And I would literally just be playing mobile games on my phone and just hanging out. And for me, I just again, I take forever to warm up and stuff. So I look at the fight card, I kind of see who I can coach and everything else. Typically, I will be able to coach any of my purple belts and below. That's easy. And then it's at the brown belt level where it gets a little shaky and stuff because depending on where they are there and stuff.
Right.
By the time the black belts go, it's tough. It worked out perfectly for the last Chicago card because the last person I wanted to coach was Carlos Archilla.
Yeah.
And literally he was one of the first black belts. So after that, we had a lot of black belts on the last card. We had a ton of black belts on the last card. And I believe there was 7 or 8 full matches right after Carlos's, all black belt matches, and I'm like, oh, perfect. That's more than enough time to warm up. Right. So I was able to sit there, and I was already dressed up and everything. Walked out with him, coached him. He won. I was like, all right, peace out. I'm gonna go freak out for about an hour later. I was like, and and he was like, cool. See you in a bit. I just
Does he coach you then?
He does.
He does. Right?
So I'm a very superstitious guy. So I have Carlos coach me, and then I always have the same people always kind of yelling out to me all the time. Carlos Archilla, John Gutta, Sam Spiegelman. Those are the guys I can. They could be out in the street, in that playground across the street, stuff like that, and whisper. I could probably pick up everything they're saying.
I think John's on the grappling games.
John's the main event in the grappling games with against Dan Hart.
Yeah, Dan Hart from Alpha BJJ.
Yes,
right?
I believe so and stuff. So, I mean, that's a great opportunity.
Alex Embry, right?
Yeah.
That's a great opportunity for John, to be honest. And Adam, I'm sure you're familiar with John Gutta. He's, in my opinion, one of the best kept secrets in jiu-jitsu in all of the Midwest.
We keep hearing that.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely the best guy, in my opinion, in Iowa. 100%. Hands down.
Yeah.
He's built an army out of, it's in Iowa, just they're so isolated and everything else. And now he's got Matt Layton out there too, helping him out. And Matt's a monster too. You guys know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm very proud of what he's accomplished and everything else. He's a great guy, super humble. And I've always been trying to sit there and kind of get him on the fight to win. I'm like, the world needs to see what John can do.
Right.
And I'm just happy that he got on the grappling games and, I mean, I know they don't stream or anything like that, but at least he's going to have video and be able to pop it on.
Yeah.
Right, because I think they post them on Facebook, right? They post those videos.
I believe they do.
Yeah.
I believe they do.
They throw 'em up
The
on
quality's
Facebook.
actually good.
Yeah, the quality was pretty good. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, but it's going back to what Adam said. It's like just super awesome to sit there and see how far jiu-jitsu has come. You've gone from like tournaments to IBJJF comes here.
Right.
You and like you guys said, listening to one of your podcasts. I mean, the IBJJF is just
It's a fucking machine.
it's a machine.
It's crazy.
21 mats, 4,500 competitors, running like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing. In Japan, they went to like for the Asian Open just like last weekend or 2 weekends ago. They literally ran on time.
Wow.
100% on time. My division was called at 105 on Sunday. There was 2 matches and then me. Like literally, my whole division went up at the same time. There was 2 matches. I was the third match in. Boom! Like and they ran it. Bam, 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 bam. I was literally done with my first match at 120.
Wow.
So it was perfect because there was like 2 matches before me, and then I rolled up and did my 5-minute match. And went the whole time, and it was like clockwork.
Yeah, I can't criticize IBJJF, man. Just to see, because there is everything's open for criticism, but just to see what we had to deal with before them, and now this, it's like, man, you can't complain.
Right.
All the tournaments were like, you show up there, and God knows when you're going to compete, you know. And
did they see that? Did the IBJJF see that formula and like, let's make sure we do, because that seems like a daunting task. Like the way they schedule everything and give your that seems like, wow, they went above and beyond, but they didn't have to, because it was kind of people were like, okay, this is the way it is. But then they come along and said, okay, we're going to redo everything, and they just did it. So
but I mean, you're literally. I believe that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever make it up to Pans back in the day when I was at Cal State, Dominguez Hills?
I think I did.
Remember how they used to do day before weigh-ins, and you could register that day, the day before the actual tournament started and stuff, and you could register that day, and like walk up right then and there, pay and everything like that. And you could weigh right in, and then you could rehydrate and everything and go the next day. And they realized how much of a hassle that was. You had lines of people just waiting to pay money, check their weight, and do all that stuff.
Right.
And let's see here. That was in 04 when I first saw that system. 05, they still had the exact same system. 06, they're like, screw it, we're done with this. You weigh in right before your first match, and that's that. You get DQ'd. Like, and I think at that time you could still register until the day before the tournament. And then I think it was the very following year they said, you know what, no more of this bullshit. Pre-registration only.
right.
And you see a lot of tournaments are doing that now. They're canceling their day of registrations and stuff. And I think that's phenomenal because as a tournament event, you can now actually forecast more accurately, at least, when divisions can go.
Right.
You know, I mean, you see, like, I will say that Amy does a great job with that online bracket system that they have, where you can check it on your phone and it updates automatically.
It's like in real time.
It's real time.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, you know, IBJJF has their own thing too. I actually think grappling
Especially
games,
for a coach.
Oh, absolutely. I think grappling games does it better than the IBJJF. Like there's so many more improvements that they can make, but like we were talking about earlier, it's a process, and and I agree with you, Adam. I'm not complaining. It should only get better from here, and it ain't that bad.
Right.
I remember when I was in Brazil, and their office was smaller than this room that we're in, and it was filled with gis and this and that. So I remember I saw them operating out of like a closet.
Wow.
And now they probably give so many people salaries. They're providing so many jobs around the whole world.
Right.
So it's
The logistics,
another
like-
cool thing to witness.
Just to see the Asian Open, like, how do they logistically get all those people there, set up all these different countries? It's incredible.
Not only that, if you look on their Instagram or on their actual event calendar, the same day, if I'm not mistaken, they ran the Asian Open. They ran something in Europe. They also ran something in Brazil, and I think they ran. I think they also ran DC.
Yeah.
I was at the same time too. So they ran 4 IBJJF tournaments at the exact same time.
And the quality control seems to be the exact same wherever you go.
Right.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we can't complain.
Right.
They're doing something right.
I heard one. We were talking over at the gym, and someone mentioned to me about the Master Worlds. They're like, "Yeah, we watched the Master Worlds, and I noticed something that when they were handing out the coral belts, these people got their coral and some red belts, right? We got some reds there too,
Right.
or red white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Carlos Gracie Jr. was wearing like sweatpants and like a t-shirt. People are like,
and that's what they're knocking out.
Everything in the IBJJF is so like the women are in dresses. IBJJF, everything is so like professional. The guy, all the referees in suits, and then the man comes out to hand out a coral and a white and red, and he's just wearing like jogging pants. Like they just woke him up or something, like out of sleep. Like, okay, you got to come do this now. And he's like, all right, let's throw whatever out.
He's doing the Mark Cuban thing.
Right,
what are you guys?
Right,
you know?
right.
That's right. You're a billionaire.
Man, he is like, I mean, to see, like, they come from a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And like the Gracie magazine, the IBJJF, a lot of the people who are responsible with those responsibilities are from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So he's like provided so much. So he's got the Gracie Baja schools,
right,
which is kind of provided. Can you imagine around the world full-time jobs for people,
right,
for opportunities? Then the Gracie magazine, then the IBJJF, right, and he's kind of a brilliant in that regard, for creating jobs and
But I mean, but look at it. Look at it now, though. Look at how much everything's grown. It's got the professional events and everything like that, and full-time streaming, and you can learn online and everything and stuff. I mean, it's only going to get better. It can only get better, and and honestly, I mean, you get a little. Me being one of the older school guys, I'm sure you feel a little bit the same way, Adam. But it's a little daunting, a little scary too. Like, man, please don't water down the martial art too much. Please. I love competing at Fight to Wins, and everyone's going to think that this is like wrestling and stuff. But it's really not. I'm just trying to have a fun time.
Right.
But you never know.
I think Fight to Win it will only become bigger and better. I think
it'll expose people to jiu-jitsu because it is an exciting format,
right.
And then once you're exposed to it, you have more options to compete in the IBJJF anyway,
Exactly.
So
That's
they would have to go there no matter what.
Right.
Now, Mark, how do you when you're going into a bracket and as opposed to you have one super fight, how much does that change your preparation for like conditioning and
Great question. I want to know that too.
It's actually I approach them completely two different ways. And my mindset's completely different fighting one match as opposed to fighting a tournament.
Okay.
But I'm also one of those guys too who I look up on video. I will stalk all of you as much as I can. I will literally stay up till 4 a.m. stalking everyone in your family. I will misspell your name intentionally, trying to find more. I'm honestly one of those guys. But so for tournaments, it's the hardest part about a tournament is trying to kind of get into that right groove, because the fact of the matter is that like you need to be warmed up correctly to fight that first match as hard as what you're going to fight it as your last match. Yeah. And sometimes you try to outsmart yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to take this first match a little slower because I have like 5 more matches to go. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, you come out too flat and you just get steamrolled, and you just you never make it past the first match.
Right.
That's why, for me, historically speaking, the first match has always been my worst match. I look and feel like garbage because it's always trying to find that formula. Throughout the years, I've kind of think I found it a little bit. Like at least a good way to kind of get ready for it. But in order to prepare for a tournament, it's you physically almost prepare the exact same way. You really, 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 really do. But it's the mental preparation. You have to understand that, I just have to be better than this guy, better than this guy for the next X amount of time. And then it's trying to reset the whole thing. That's the hard part, is trying to reset the whole thing, because what you don't realize at the time of your first match is you got, like in 10 minutes, another match. Right. And you have to kind of really reset yourself. So in tournaments, I've always sat there and tried to come up with a very literally quick routine that's going to allow me to sit there and kind of mentally deflate myself for like a couple of minutes, and then immediately try to like build myself back up, getting ready to go. You just have to come up with a routine, something that puts you in that zone and resets everything. Fatigue is you can never sit there and use non-exertion of energy or exertion of energy as an excuse, only for the sheer fact that you need to understand something, notwithstanding bias, but you need to understand that the other guy's exerting energy as well too. Right. So both of you guys are going in at some sort of depreciative state already going into your second match, and you're just going to go in as hard as you can and strategically get to there. The hard part about preparing for a tournament is that, again, you can't overthink yourself too, is you're trying to think strategy. And this guy, I'll go so far as like, all right, this guy, I think I can sit there and, pass his guard and everything like that, but I'm not going to play top right now because the other guy, I want to play, like the second guy, I want to play top against him. So I'm going to pull against this first guy and work from there as much as possible. Right. And, try to really kind of trip up the second guy and make him think I'm going to pull. Right. When all I'm trying to do is just trying to set him up for everything else. I mean, there's... I actually did that at the Asian Open. Huh? Yeah. I know, I did that at the Asian Open. The first guy, I scouted the first guy, and I was just like, I'm pulling on him no matter what. No matter what the hell happens, I'm pulling on him. I don't want anyone to see how I try to pass.
I see.
So I was pulling on people. I was like, I'm pulling as fast as I can. And then got the guy in the finals. I'm like, he's going to pull. I know he's going to pull. And he hasn't seen me try to pass guard. Right. So he doesn't know how I'm going to try to pass guard. So I'll go into there. In a super fight, the preparation is a little different. It is the same, but you do have to, in my opinion, work it's about pacing your intensities, or kind of being able to flip the switch multiple times within a more extended period of time. Right. So
you're 10 minutes, right? Super fight?
I'm either 8 or 10. I don't know yet. So at the title fights are 10s, but black belts we're 8.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to make me 8 or 10.
Okay.
But
do you think that's a good time, or do you want more?
8's pretty good. I like 8. To be honest with you, I don't like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is super, super short because if you make a mistake, it's it's over, especially in a point tournament setting.
I agree.
Yeah, if the guy wants to stall, it's tough. Right?
Yeah, I've been in situations. I've been in situations where, I'm winning this match. I've got a bazillion advantages or whatever the case may be, and then I literally make one mistake with 40 seconds to go, and I got swept. And never, all of a sudden, all the hard work I did for 4.5 minutes is gone because I made one mistake. And I was like, I might be up I don't know, say half a dozen advantages. Advantages, you score half a dozen advantages on someone in 4.5 minutes. You're killing the guy, and you make a mistake, and all of a sudden you're now on your butt, and there's no way to come back. Right. There's virtually no way. You are now throwing Hail Mary bombs out there and hoping something hits. But going back to a super fight, you need to be able to change intensities quickly. You need to be able to get into your game much like you would in a tournament setting, but you need to be able to kind of create those opportunities faster and be able to quickly transition into a very aggressive mode. And especially in a situation where, it's fight to win or sub only, if it's close and you just don't know if you're going to win a decision, or let's just say fight to win had the stipulation where if it goes to the regulation, if it goes through regulation or it hits the time limit, no one wins at all, like the old Metamorphosis rules and stuff like that. Yeah. If it goes to that, and you can find you have to realize that once you get any type of dominant position, for all intents and purposes, in a sub-only match, for lack of better words, lack of better words, you have to be a complete prick. You get into a dominant position, and you just have to be a complete asshole. Put your hand in their nose and everything like that. Just try basically all you're trying to do is get this person from a completely defensive state to try to get them to give you something. Because they're just pissed off. They're like, man, get your face, get your chin, get your forehead out of my jaw and out of my nose. And they're literally put their hands up, and all of a sudden an arm bar pops up. Right. At least an opportunity, an opening pops up. You kind of have to do that. It's like a mental, it's a mindset that you have to put yourself in and kind of be a complete dick about it too. You have to be willing to go there sometimes. Right. And you have to be as a competitor on the receiving end, you have to understand that that's where they're going to go. And you need to make sure that they never get there. From a conditioning standpoint, what I like to do is I'll try to do shorter matches, like 2-minute matches with like 30 seconds rest or like 20 seconds rest in between. Because you might have to sit there and do little blowout sprints in between the match. Like little to no rest in between. For like 10 minutes, you just kind of like, almost like doing like farlicks and stuff like that, or tabatas within a sparring round and stuff like that. You have to. You don't have a choice. So you have to be willing to do stuff like that. You're not always going to be able to like jump close guard and hold it for 7.5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Like, all right, I'm going to sit there and throw up a triangle and hit a triangle, and that'll be the only sub attempt, and I win.
Right.
You know, it's hard. You might not be able to do it. But
Adam, are you prepared to go there? Are you prepared to be a dick in your match? Old school Redzovic comes out. Adam just walks out and spits in the guy's face.
He's gonna swing at you. You'll get the arm bar. For sure. He's gonna swing. Like, oh, it's like that. Let's do it.
I'm very laid back.
It seems like you're going to have to be woken up and be like, Adam, you're on.
Put the headset down.
wipe the drool. Put your pillow back in your gym bag. You're on.
That's great to sleep. I mean, if I can catch a sleep during before the match, because I hate being in the environment
for too long.
Yeah, like if I have to compete and I have to be there for hours before the match.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. I like being in the environment, so I have the option to at least just go down and say hello to my friends and stuff like that. But like I said, once the headphones come on, I'm like, but I don't watch jiu-jitsu.
You don't watch it?
I will not watch any of the matches. Like unless I'm coaching someone, I will not watch any of the matches.
You think it might influence the mood that you're in at that time, or the way you want to fight that day?
It does.
Yeah.
And case in point, the first time I learned a very valuable lesson. The first time my daughter and I fought in an IBJJF tournament, and that was Pans, and I literally sat there and I pawned her off to a couple people, like good trusted friends, John Awano and Carlos and everything like that. I'm like, hey, go coach her. We're literally going to go like 20 minutes apart. So all right, cool. And I run over. And I run over and make sure she's okay and everything like that. I'm in the bullpen, and all of a sudden I just sit there and just completely go back on my word, and I run out and I start coaching her. Oh. And I literally my adrenaline just dumped. It just was gone. And
interesting.
Yeah, it's like her match was like going back and forth and stuff like that, and I ended up fighting my match about 20-30 minutes later. And I make fun of people who do this, but I literally pulled side control on this guy. I was like, I don't know what I just did. I'm literally as I'm doing it, I'm literally reaching out. I took like a bullshit shot just to like get to my guard, get the match on the ground as fast as possible. I reach up, I grab his lapel, and I'm falling onto my ass. I realize I'm spinning, and I'm like, this is wonderful. I'm literally, and I'm just like, wow. Powered up and everything, and I'm doing this. This is stupid. And immediately I say, I have like this. I'm sure if you watch it on Flow, I don't even know if it's on there. If you're watching it on Flow, I kind of have like this stupid grin on my face, like, you idiot. And like literally, I was just like, my hands and my feet weren't in conjunction in my head's like that. And my head's like, well, this sucks. Yeah. And I literally just turtled, and he takes my bag, and I'm sitting there just like, well, let's see here. We're 20 seconds in. I'm down 4, and he's got a choke on me already. Let's see how long I could last and just not get and then we get reset in the middle and stuff, and of course he's got the choke tighter, and I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Yeah. I sit there and I like 10 seconds later I'm like tapping, and I'm like, I walk off, and Carlos and John Awano are there and just like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I'm hungry. I wasn't even mad. I was like, whatever. That's why I try not to watch a lot of jiu-jitsu before and stuff like that. Yeah. I'll coach and up to a point where I can have a time to reset and stuff like that. But I mean, for you, Adam, like how many you have Pete Perez on the card.
Yeah.
Is that the only other guy
That's
from?
the only. I have another one who's trying to get on. He was going to do the grappling games, and then he can't do it, and then he's going to try to get on this one. But right now, just me and PJ.
You and PJ?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of time because I know PJ is actually competing against one of my students, Gabe.
Oh, yeah?
And
Cool.
I know that they're one of the first brown belt matches.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you've got
Is that
a lot of time.
Gabe Clarito?
Yes,
Oh,
Gabe
yeah.
Clarito.
Nice guy.
Yeah,
man.
so I mean,
Breaking in that brown belt right
Yeah,
away.
no,
Huh?
yeah.
Good for him, man.
He flew all the way to Asia to break it in.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah, he
good.
was out
Cool.
there with me.
Fantastic.
He did great. He had he took third. He got to in the semis. He got to literally like back and forth match, and he made one mistake, which it didn't necessarily cost him the match, because I think if he had that, it cost him 30 seconds of time, like 20, 30 seconds of time. If he had that, well, basically cost him the match, but if he had the 20 to 30 seconds back, there was no doubt in my mind he would have came up on a sweep or something like that and just like done, because he was sweeping that guy left and right. And
Nice.
it's just that guy kind of got.
He's at what weight?
Is he light feather?
130.
I believe they're at 130.
Oh,
so I
wow.
think PJ needs to do some cutting.
Yeah, I think so.
And Gabe wakes up.
Oh, really? Gabe's that light? He's my size, huh?
puny.
Yeah, he's my size.
Puny. You should follow him on Instagram. He eats like a goddamn monster. But he has like probably a whole colony of tapeworms just eating up all that.
How old is he?
Gabe, 32.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Yeah, he's 32, maybe 33, something like that. But that's a good little exciting matchup right there. I mean, honestly, like I was saying earlier, if you look up and down the card, you have exciting matchups left and right. You have Zane so even from the kids.
Yeah.
You have Zane. He's fighting one of my kid students, Kai Calcutt.
Okay.
So I mean, both those guys are just like they're nonstop balls of energy.
Yeah.
So like that's.
So you're gonna be on one corner, then Mineko's gonna be on the other corner, and we're gonna hear the coaching now.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fun.
Oh, it's hilarious. Well, it's funny though because we were both like nuts.
Yeah,
So,
I love to listen to Mineko coach, man. He's so
it's great.
funny, man.
It's hilarious, man.
He's so passionate.
Oh, he's
So
absolutely.
passionate.
Absolutely.
So you guys, let's get deep here, or maybe not. But if I were to ask you guys, like, how would you describe your own jiu-jitsu? Like, if you just had to like come out of your body and just look at yourself,
Okay.
rolling
I
or
actually have
competing.
been asked that, and I do have an answer, but I'm going to let Adam go first.
Take a break, Mark.
I talk a lot. Sorry.
Maybe like a counter puncher.
Okay.
You know, like I like to put people in situations and force them to make a mistake, kind of thing.
Like a Floyd Mayweather approach, kind of. I like that.
Yeah.
Smooth.
But,
Zito describes rolling with you as rolling with water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Like
what
no matter where you go, it's just like I'm wet.
Yeah.
I'm soaking wet. Like
Yeah, I don't like to.
I couldn't attach anything. He just would move and I would fall. I just I hold and he just move and I would just be on the. I'm like I don't know what I can't. He's so big and I still couldn't like hold on to him.
Yeah.
At all. He's just and he wasn't using any like force. And
No,
it's just-
yeah.
It's like his mind is just like let go and I'm like all right, I just let go. It was bizarre.
You will let go.
You will let go.
I don't like to like, and this is like I like these kind of formats where there's no points because I don't like to have to score points in a certain amount of time, and I like to kind of feel my way through the match, you know.
yeah.
But then when you know that hey, his guy maybe you make a mistake and he's got a point ahead of you, now your mentality is now I have to score and create. I like to just let's feel. I want to just feel.
now there's a level of anxiety attached to your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I do think it's more like it's funny you mentioned anxiety. I do think in a point-based event like a tournament or what have you, there's a lot more anxiety involved and stuff. Because you know you can't make mistakes. That's why sometimes you have those matches where people just don't want to move.
For sure.
Like, and it looks boring as hell. Like
I'd like to see a stat on how many times the average competitor looks at the scoreboard during like a
yes.
7-minute match. It's got to be over 10, right? It's double digits for sure. Don't you think so? Each guy.
You know, we should literally sit there.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Right,
we should
right.
literally sit there and like the next IBJJF tournament or something like that, like Chicago Open.
Yeah.
When we're both not competing, we just pick a division and we just start counting.
Yeah, for sure.
We literally just start counting like little.
Just like a poll of 200 matches or something like that. You know,
like
it's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I've been asked that same question, how I describe my jiu-jitsu, and a couple different times, and I used to have two. I used to have one answer, and I have a different answer now. So my first original answer was bipolar. I'm a Gemini, and so I have two minds about everything and stuff. So it's funny because one of my closest friends and person who helped me a lot with my jiu-jitsu when we first started, Kwanyang Wang, he came up with this analysis of styles of jiu-jitsu using, honestly, Star Wars. So a light side and dark side. So light side is more flowy and everything else, more kind of point related and positional related, not a bunch of use of force. Whereas opposed dark side is, man, we're using a lot of force and we're sub-hunting a lot. So it's funny because he literally sat there and listed down everyone on our team and basically categorized everyone. So then someone asked about me, and then he's just like, Mark's actually very hard to categorize here because my guard game was very light side, my top game was very dark side, and it like was seamless. It was transitioning seamless. So that got me to really thinking about my jiu-jitsu a lot, and like I described it as bipolar because on the mats rolling and stuff, it was just back when I was like a little bit younger and stuff. It was just, I would be playful and try to move around a lot and stuff, and then when you see me compete, it's like very like smashy and stuff, and like very kind of like a bulldog,
aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive, like a bulldog. So that's thus the bipolar. But if I could sit there and try to describe my jiu-jitsu now, it's a very negating style. I try to take you away from what you like to do. Like, I don't mind going to where you're strong because I'm going to make sure that you can't comfortably get there. Keep cutting the grips. Keep making you work so hard to get there that you get tired, and then I can cause you to make a mistake, and then I can take over from there and try to funnel you into exactly where I want to go. So I really, really try to, not quite defensively, but it's like defensive with a purpose. Like I'm really just trying to wear you down to get you to make that mistake.
Yeah.
So I mean,
playing the long game, kind
yeah,
of. Yeah,
it is, and
cool.
sometimes that long game is like 2 minutes long. But I mean, sometimes it's a lot longer than that. But the fact of the matter is that, like, especially with a rule set with like fight to win, I just need to sub you once, man.
Yeah, right.
I don't need to do this multiple times. I
Right.
don't need to score a bunch of points. I just need to sub you. That's it.
So much easier than a bracket tournament, right?
It is.
It's like,
It is. Yes and no, but I mean, it is fun. Yeah, it is. It is a lot easier, and I think you're going to have a great time. I think you will, and I think Dan will make it exciting too.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I think both you and Dan will sit there and just go. I keep looking. I keep looking at that matchup. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be cool.
What weight is that match?
205.
205? You walk around 205?
Like now I'm like 215, 210, rough like that.
But it's not big.
Yeah, I can cut that easy.
It's day before weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, day before.
So how was doing all the promo stuff? Like, don't they set up the photos and they do all that stuff with you guys? And then they also do any other promotions other than the photo shoot, or they just give you all the stuff and the tickets and you kind of go out and do your own thing?
Well, I mean, everyone, they promote as well too,
Right, exactly,
clearly,
yeah.
and then they clearly encourage us to sit there and promote as well too. I mean,
Right.
they want us to. It would suck if you just sit there and go compete and you don't have a crowd cheering for you.
Right, exactly.
So you're like, so guys, I'm going to go compete. Please
See ya.
come
Right.
and cheer for me. No, but I mean,
It's at the Odeum.
yes, it's at the Odeum.
That's where it was last
yes.
time too.
I mean, I know Adam's going to have I know you're going to have a huge crowd. It's going to be awesome for you, and my crowd's just retarded.
Your crowd is crazy,
just like,
right?
in the best possible way.
Yes.
But I like to have fun, and it's going to be cool too because you're going to have all the different meshes of crowds in there and
Yeah.
stuff, and you'll have the Alliance crowd. I don't know if Mike Morello's on the card anymore. He was supposed to fight.
Was he supposed to be on the card?
He was supposed to fight, like, oh God, the guy who's fighting Tommy Woodruff now.
Will Link.
No, he's out. So Will
Will
Link
Link is out. Oh, from Mick Vickers. Okay.
Yes, I know he's out from what I understand.
Okay.
From what Tommy told me, I think he's out, and then I think he's fighting whoever Mike Morello is fighting now too. So there have been some changes to the card since then. So like Mike Sims clearly not on the card anymore and stuff. But like the energy last time in the Odeon was just awesome.
It was
through the roof.
It was really good.
It was through the roof, and it like I'm not just saying for like my match and stuff like that with a really drunk crowd. But even in the beginning too and stuff when like the purple belts went on, like like right after the kids, as soon as the purple belts hit the mat, really high energy there as well too. Like for every single like match. So I'm excited to see it. And if it's true that it's projected to be like the biggest one that they had, and I think it could be too. I think that Jeff's going to draw his crowd, his huge crowd.
Yeah.
We're going to come. Adam, I think you being on there, that's you're going to get a big crowd. It's going to be huge.
Caprito's Danya's on it.
Yeah, Danya's on it, so you're going to get some the Brasa crowd.
Yeah.
Like who from Carlson's there? Why am I?
Is there?
Why am I drawing a blank? Like I'm drawing a blank right now on the Carlson's. I saw Aaron Brooks clearly, and Aaron Brooks is super popular.
William.
Oh, Von Horn, yeah. So
Von Horn,
they're going to draw a crowd as well too.
Valco, you got TK Oates.
Yeah, you're going to get the Valco crowd.
Yeah.
The Alliance crowd's clearly on there. You're going to get Taxi Cab Top Team because Eisbeck's there.
All the Uber guys.
All the Uber guys. All the Uber guys and like a whole bunch of Borats.
What do you like day of competition to eat?
I don't eat.
Like fasting the whole day, or
I just drink a shitload of coffee. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I
No
don't.
food, huh?
I can't do it. I'll puke. I feel horrible.
how when you cut it, like totally all day or like 5 hours before, roughly?
I'll have a very, very, very light breakfast. So
and what is that usually?
protein shake, and 2 slices of wheat bread with butter and a shitload of coffee. And then like I'll have like probably another coffee for lunch, and I always have like a bag of nuts with me, a bag of almonds or cashews or something in case I do need something.
Right.
But that's about it. I just don't like eating. Honestly, on a normal day, I have I unintentionally intermittent fast.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
So I have breakfast. My breakfast is 2 scoops of protein, 2 tablespoons of organic peanut butter, a crap load of supplements, and basically it. And I just don't eat. I don't have time to eat. I might have a protein shake. Like if I lift, I'll have a protein shake afterwards. I'll lift in the morning and then have a protein shake, and then I'll teach without eating a damn thing.
Yeah.
And I'll just eat whatever the hell I want at night, usually. But I will eat complete garbage at night, and I don't put on any weight. But if I'm really cutting and like a competition's coming up, I will eat clean at night. So I'll sit there and little piece of like skirt steak or something like that, and a bunch of spinach. That's it.
What about you, Adam?
Typically, I'm eating eggs. On the day of the tournament, I'll have some toast too, just because I notice like days of tournament, sometimes you got to use the washroom a lot, you know, so it's good to have something starchy or
dry toast
in the
for
belly.
competition, yeah.
Yeah, so I like to eat light. I don't like to eat anything greasy.
Yeah.
If I got to eat protein, I'll usually get it from eggs. I'm actually started eating eggs just raw, just after a workout.
Like Rocky Balboa?
Exactly.
Nice.
Really?
Exactly. And it actually is not bad at all. You don't taste anything.
Yeah.
So you can, I'm experimenting a lot with just how I feel after what I eat, So, like, if I'm training, and sometimes you're training a lot, and then you kind of feel like your mind gets a little foggy, or you almost like, man, I'm training for 3 weeks in a row, and I'm kind of getting worse. Whenever I feel like that, I start pounding walnuts, and my mind it just clears the fog.
Really?
Like you were deficient in
Walnuts.
something?
I don't know. I mean, some people say like the walnut looks like a brain, and it's actually good
I've
for your
heard
brain.
that too. I've heard that.
Or like avocado looks like a womb, and for pregnant women, it's actually very healthy for their, to eat that when they're pregnant. So sometimes these fruits, they look like body parts that they actually support.
No shit.
So if I eat some bananas, will I? All right, go ahead. Lame jokes, man. Lame.
Yeah, so I like to have honey, like before the match, just like a really good quality honey.
Yeah.
And just that for like I guess for the blood sugar level, you know. And just very light, very light. I fast too, and I notice when I fast, I've never done this when I'm competing, but I notice like when I'm fasting and I have to teach and I end up training, I'm actually very more sharper, like alert.
For Ramadan, you're talking about.
Ramadan and also just for health, just like throughout the year, like sometimes I'll fast and because the health benefits are amazing.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, I'm just a lot. I don't know if it's because I'm conscious of the energy. You don't want to use too much energy when you're fasting because you can't drink nothing. So then you're a little more aware of how you spend your energy. And
you become just more efficient. I agree with you. I noticed that too. Sometimes when I legitimately fast and I don't have that second protein shake, even if I lift and stuff, I will go into training that night a lot sharper, a lot more aggressive, and honestly just more mobile. It's weird.
I heard Sanji does the same, and he said it like the lion doesn't hunt when he's full.
It's interesting, yeah.
I think he called it the warrior diet.
Yeah, actually, that's I've heard it called that as well too. Apparently, there's another name for it. But I've been unintentionally doing that for years now.
Yeah, hunters too.
Yeah,
same thing.
It's the whole hunter and gatherer principle.
Yeah, but like your eyesight actually improves if you have an empty stomach. Like even from guys that are shooting bow and arrows and rifles and stuff like that.
Wow,
yeah, isn't that weird? Like your senses, like everything elevates.
Especially if you're a hunter, I'm like, I gotta kill this goddamn.
Right.
I'm so hungry.
right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the warrior diet. Yeah, I've heard that too. Ronda Rousey said that she used to do that too when she was cutting weight and stuff. You just have one meal. Like you're allowed to, from the small amount of research I've done about it, you're allowed to graze on like nuts and berries. Because if you're hunting for stuff, everything else, and like you're just gonna feed off whatever you can get your hands on as you're chasing this damn freaking gazelle through the savannah and stuff like that, and you gotta kill this thing. But like you don't really eat until you kill that thing. So just, it works. It always works. But
walnuts, huh? I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, dump them in your shake.
Yeah.
See how you feel.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why? You think you look cloudy?
No, I mean, like, sometimes I am, man. When I was doing those 2-a-days for like 3 weeks in a row, like, it got to a point where I'm like, I think I'm getting worse at jiu-jitsu.
It's kind of like, have you taken the Alpha Brain for the supplements?
Yeah.
Like those nootropics?
Yes.
It's kind of like that same effect for me, at least.
Okay.
It's like a natural.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So sometimes too, you feel like all beat up and worn down, and you're not as sharp because your glycemic index is messed up. So they say at night, and I used to do this too, I would just sit there and eat like a little bit of ice cream or sorbet.
Okay.
So like a small little cup of it and stuff like that, and it'll actually help you recover throughout the night. That's like I've read that too. That's something I used to do a lot, but then I kind of just completely switched everything. Like that this year, one of my sponsors, Orlando Cecilio, he owns a supplement store, a Health Kick up in Morton Grove. He sat me down and he's just like, I want you to be really successful this year. And one of the things we need to talk about is your nutrition. It sucks. And so he's the one who kind of basically really kind of put me on the straight and narrow as far as, when I'm preparing for a competition and stuff. So, big shout out to him. And it's made me better. So I like literally sat there and stopped eating all the ice cream and all that other stuff at night and just changed up a whole bunch of stuff for me that works. Like late at night, the last thing I do at night is I just slam a casein protein shake. So that way I wake up and my body never goes catabolic. I don't lose any muscle. I feel better in the morning. cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a bit, you know,
How
you can try that
how
too.
many hours of sleep do you get?
It depends. Am I stalking someone? Usually, I go to bed like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I wake up. Like, my kids wake my ass up. I got 3 kids, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I got a son who just hates me, and like he's just like bam, slap me and stuff like that. And 2 dogs that need to take a shit.
So, can you sleep until 7?
I can, and that's typically when I wake up.
So you're getting 5 hours a night.
Yeah, so about 5 hours. I never really slept a lot and stuff
Yeah.
ever since college and all that. But you know, I'll do my thing and I'll try to like nap again in the morning if I can before I go lift and stuff and do all that other stuff. But
What about you, Adam? What about you? Get a lot of sleep?
Sometimes I on average I probably get 5 hours too. But if I do that hot cold therapy or just go in the sauna at night, I sleep like a baby. I get a lot more deeper sleep.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you can get into a sauna, I think it's one of the best benefits is just deeper sleep.
Are you talking about training and then sauna, or just when you sauna?
No, just anytime you go to the sauna, it's just there's something.
How long are you in there for?
It depends. Like for tournaments, sometimes I'll go in there and just for like a mental exercise, I'm just going to tell myself, this guy is going to leave before me. So I'm in there like, please get the hell out of here. So sometimes it'll drag off, but
Who says Adam isn't competitive? He's just looking at the guy. Get the
Get out of here.
no, right?
But I try to stay at least 20 minutes.
Okay.
And that's the hot one, not like a regular sauna. That's
Right,
the
this is
steamy,
like a
steamy
hot
one.
hot.
So
I-
at least.
Sam Spiegelman used to sit there and really talk. He sent me a whole bunch of articles and stuff like that about like using the sauna. Specifically, I think he said dry sauna. I can't remember. I'll be honest with you. I hate saunas in general. Saunas and steam rooms. I can't do them. But he sat there and sent me a whole bunch of articles and actually said that it actually can stimulate. If you do, I think it's got to be 3 days in a row, and I think it's about 20 to 30 minutes a pop. I think it's the dry sauna, but it can stimulate testosterone levels in you.
Really? Wow.
Like, and he's just like, here's all the article. Here's all the research on it. And I'm reading through it. I'm like, seems legit.
Right.
It seems super legit. I just can't stay 20 minutes goddamn sauna.
How long did he say you have to stay in there?
I think it's 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And like,
That's above a certain degrees, right? Above
Yes,
like
it's-
170 or something like that.
I forget exactly.
Above
what
150 or
Yeah,
something.
I think it's above 140.
140. Okay.
And I think it was above 140, and I want to say it was like 20 to 30. Like, it was very general, 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
After 3 days, you'll sit there and see like you're just being a lot more energetic.
Wow.
It's just like, and what it does is that it actually stimulates testosterone production in you. Wow. It's like a very natural way to sit there and do it. You know,
And Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she does.
Yeah,
the
I was
Joe
just
Rogan
gonna
podcast.
mention that.
She always talks about heat shock proteins being very good for you and for longevity of life. You
And for muscle growth,
muscle
too.
growth, yeah. So there's a lot to that sauna.
Man, if you go hot, cold, you're going back and forth. I do like 10 minutes hot, then I do 2 to 3 minutes in the cold pool, and then you do like 3 rounds of that.
Now, are they next to each other?
Yeah, this
jump
place
from
that I
one
go
the
to, you
other?
just
Okay.
walk 5 feet. And
So is it
like,
made for that purpose, or is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, guys are going back and forth.
get this, that same type of therapy. So again, Sam, like, you know, big
Right.
wealth of knowledge.
Right.
I just looked at my thumb earlier this year, and you know, of course, I'm just like, you know, everyone's recommending time off. I'm like, whatever. So he's like, okay, Mark, before you take some time off and stuff, before I recommend that to you, I want you to try this. And he recommended Epsom salt, super, super hot water, and then ice cold water. And just literally just dipping it back and forth. Once you can't stand the heat, dip it in the ice. Once you can't stand the cold, dip it back,
Yeah.
back and forth.
Right.
And I asked him, how long should I do that for? He's like, until the hot water is no longer hot, until the cold water is no longer cold. And just keep going back and forth.
Right.
And I literally saw the swelling just go down.
Come on.
After 45 minutes. I'm looking at him and I took pictures of it. I'm showing him. I'm like, I don't know what voodoo magic you just told me to do,
That's crazy.
but I can move my thumb.
yeah.
And I'm going to train tomorrow. So like, you know, I just didn't miss a day. I was like, it was weird.
Yeah.
I literally sat there and saw the thing go down. And I was
Awesome.
I have no idea what the hell. I have no idea what the black voodoo magic or science was behind it, but it worked.
And if you do full body, like you're going back and forth, I feel like it's a straight up like a good workout. I mean, you're not working out, but when you go back to the mats the next day or whatever, you feel like you're sharp. It's like a cardio workout.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be great for your heart. I don't know if we were
Just don't run a marathon before.
Yeah,
Right.
It's either horrible for your heart or it's great for your heart.
We'll find out who you are.
If you died,
Yeah.
it was bad for you.
So Adam, you just recently moved your school, right?
Yeah, our
Loop
downtown
location.
school. Yeah,
Downtown. So
Yeah.
so you're in what a totally new facility, a whole new build out, all
Yeah,
that fun
yeah.
stuff. So tell us about that process.
We were on Michigan Avenue. We had a really nice space there. We were there for 8 years. We moved from the upstairs to the basement, but roughly 8 years the school was there. And then the building got sold, new owners, and the whole neighborhood has just been, so much going on. The new Telecafe opened up across the street, and that brought a lot more, kind of attention to the neighborhood. So I guess the owners, they're trying to like knock the building down and rebuild it or something. And long story short, we had to find a new space. And luckily we got one. It's at 226 South Wabash. It was like less than, I think, half a mile walk.
Nice.
It's like a 5-8 minute walk tops, but it's actually a bigger place. It's we went from being in the basement to being on the third floor of like a loft. It's beautiful. You guys got to come check it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's really nice. And there primarily my cousin Idris is teaching there. Brick is also teaching there. Brick Welsh, and that's a really cool spot because we get a lot of traffic from people coming in and out of the city. So a lot of good guests. We had Ali Geddes was living there a little bit, and we always got some black belts like traveling and kind of living at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we
So
should have had Ali on when he was here, but like
Yeah.
Brick told us about him like 2 days before he's flying back, and we already had like someone booked. We're like, dude, he's like, well, he was here for 6 weeks. I'm like, reach out and text me
Benjamin
that.
Salas also
Yeah.
texted me. But I'm like, we already had everything booked already for.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, next time it comes out. So, how much square foot you have in that?
This one is right around 4,000 square feet, roughly.
And how much do that as mats?
That is, we have 2 mat spaces. One in the front when you walk in is roughly 1,000 square feet, and then when you go to the back, it's probably another 1,500 square feet, roughly, maybe give or take 100 square feet or so. So it's great. It's really nice. Who do we have? We have someone coming. Yeah, we have a couple of our affiliates coming from New Jersey.
Nice.
One black belt. One of actually was a black belt from Mike Merkulich, who passed away. So he's going to come out with some of his guys. There's always something happening there. There's always like some fresh blood there, some traveler. So it's a big blessing, man. Like I remember, to have a purple belt to come to your school at one point in time was like you couldn't believe it. Now we got black belts just popping in left and right, and it's great, But you can't, if you're going to come, there's no signage outside. The building doesn't allow there to be any signs and stuff, so you got to just know where you're going. We're on the 3rd floor, right off the Adams and Wabash exit.
It's a jiu-jitsu speakeasy.
Gotta know the password.
You can't put any signage up at all, like not even
No.
window decals. Nothing.
No, and there's actually another, there's a judo school that's in the building. It's called the Jiu-Jitsu Institute. So there will be some confusion because when you walk in, there is a directory when you walk in, so you can see down there. But it's going to be a lot of people going to the Jiu-Jitsu Institute.
I might be in the area on Wednesday.
Let's get some training in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Shoot you messages down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll come down for that.
Yeah,
too.
can we come?
I'd like to come down for some training with you two guys.
I want you to come check out Lincoln Square. I want you to see how much it's changed since 2008.
All right,
That
I will.
place has changed so
man.
much.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. Like,
Thanks.
and honestly, like I go to all these different schools too and stuff, and I'm in the process of maybe within the next 2 years moving and kind of redoing everything because I have a feeling that our landlord wants to tear down the spot.
Really? Your
Rebuild.
spot?
Yeah, and rebuild. And basically, because if you notice, like around my area, everything's kind of getting rebuilt.
Yeah.
And our complex looks like shit. But so and I think they're going to try to move us somewhere close by. So I'm already kind of preparing for that particular thing. Of course, play hardball a little bit, but like, you know, and see what we, you know, I see what Lincoln Square has become and everything. And, you know, hate to say this, but I'm completely stealing ideas from everybody. And I'm just like, you know, because everyone's got, I literally sat there and made Niles, Newbury Training starting out, and just a bigger carbon copy version of what I had in Skokie. And I realized, wow, that was really unoriginal. That was really unoriginal and pretty stupid. Now I'm like, ugh. So now I have all these different ideas in my head and stuff, and I will have the opportunity to kind of do something within the next 2 years. So yeah, because I know for you, it took a process for the, you know, for the move and everything like that. So I mean, you know, I'm sure that
yeah, you got to start early. Like we were supposed to get another space originally, and then I realized I'm getting old, you know, because the leasing agent, he was like some 20-year-old guy and complete like flaked out on us, man. You know, like we signed the paper that we're gonna be here for these terms, and the guy stops picking up the phone. You know, because I guess maybe he found a better deal. So, you know, and then that kind of pushed us.
Just told you.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was, you know, he was a fast talker. You know, he was one of those guys who's talking really quick and, you know, promising you the world. And I wanted that world, so I was kind of entertaining. Usually I know the fast talkers, I'm always aware, you know, but I was kind of like, maybe this guy's different, but it wasn't. Yeah. So then we kind of forced us into making, you know, so everything worked out, but I hated having to like do things at the buzzer. Yeah, because we had to get out of the space, and then we're still kind of like, you know, a month before we have to get out, still finalizing stuff was too stressful.
Yeah, I hear you. But like, you're absolutely correct. That's why I'm 2 years out, and I'm always just like, all right, I have to really start planning this and everything. So
you guys got a lot of square feet right now, right?
Yeah, you do.
6,600 square feet, and the mat space is like 2,990 like square feet of mat space.
Mark, I got you a question. I want to put you on the spot.
Go for it.
But why are your showers so cold?
I do. Oh,
why?
Everyone asks me that question.
Cold, man? Why, man?
And Mark, just tell him to stop being a pussy.
No.
Question answered.
I need you to understand something. I'm from the Philippines. We don't have hot running water, so I'm like, that's number one. That's number one. Number two, I'm not going to call out these two particular students, but when I had hot water, honestly, I just need to turn it on. I just say it's broken.
Okay.
He's doing the hot cold Adam
Yeah,
thing.
I know, right?
You train until you're really hot, and then you go take a cold shower.
But that's my cryotherapy. I just jump in there. But I've intentionally sat there and turned off the heat, specifically because when I had hot water in there, people would just take the longest showers in there. Man. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And I would have people banging on the door like, get out of there. And it was funny because there's this one particular student I had, every single time when we had hot water, he would walk out of the shower and it would just be a complete mess everywhere. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing in here, man? Were you having a seance and stuff? Candles, listening to like music and shit.
Got Enya playing in there.
I know, yeah. You got Enya. I'm like, what did you do? Like, just like frolicking in the freaking shower. Like all the hot water is gone. I'm like, what did you do? So I just decided, you know what? No more hot water for everyone. That's it. We're done. And everyone's taking on the average like a 2-3 minute shower, like going in there, spinning around, toweling off, and like done. I'm like,
that's it.
Perfect.
I was
next. Let's go.
I was like,
guys.
I'm like, I know I got to take a shower because it's Niles. It's far. I'm not gonna drive all the way home. So I'm like getting really warmed up on the mats. Like, okay, I need to roll really hard. And I still jump in there thinking, I'm like, this is too cold. This is crazy.
No, I love it. I love it because it solved the problem. I'm like,
yes,
you know what?
It feels great after, right?
It does feel great. It feels great. You are cussing me like, fuck, Mark. So you're cussing me out, but the second you're done, you're like, man, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's actually the reason why I completely just killed the hot water and just decided never to turn it back on.
Good.
And I was like, I can fix your water here. I'm like, no, you're not touching it. Don't touch it.
Nothing wrong with it.
I broke that thing intentionally, like for a reason. Just don't touch it. Like missing pieces and everything. Like, yeah, but
You know, you could set like a dial on that thing where it's like it only comes out lukewarm, right?
Yeah, no, I did, and people
Merry
figured that
Christmas,
out.
guys! I'm turning on the.
It's a special day.
Yeah,
No, well,
this week only.
Yeah, no, people figured it out, and they're like sitting there like going underneath and like sticking like turning on the pilot light and everything. So I literally just like removed. I just like gutted it. I'm like, nope,
That's hilarious.
no one's doing anything with it. Take the damn cold shower and deal with it. Everyone deals with it, but yeah. That's kind of that.
That's
That's
awesome.
good. That's that though.
Yeah, Lincoln Square, we pride ourselves on like no air conditioning. In the summers,
Yeah.
it gets so foggy and hot, and people complain. But it's just kind of like that's. If you want, you go to the other schools, like go to downtown or whatever. If you want the air conditioning, like within the school, they know like the downtown is more white collar. You have a towel service and you shower, air conditioning, everything.
Yeah,
But Lincoln Square, I remember one guy from the Loop. He came to Lincoln Square and he described it as when Apollo took Rocky to his gym. It's like totally contrast. You know?
Right.
I mean, Lincoln Square is polishing up now, but it's always been kind of like that. And I mean, and there is something to it too. You know, like just being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like dealing with it. You know, like having to deal with it. I mean, we save on energy costs, but
Yeah, but it's cool. You offer your students 2 different looks too. You know,
Yeah.
so
Do
variety.
you require your students to wear rash guards under their gis?
we do.
You do, huh? You do?
I mean, if someone shows up,
Because I know I didn't when I showed up. And,
Yeah,
and
and
I
you-
heard after the fact I didn't
yeah,
have one.
and like nobody cares.
Okay.
Like if somebody, the reason why it's there is, it's I mean, there's an argument for hygiene a little bit. You know, sometimes also, you know, like in the beginning, so many people are just to start jiu-jitsu is challenging. Then, you know, remember that one movie where the guy's playing basketball?
Along Came Polly, is it? I think that one. Yeah.
And then he just smears
yeah.
his face on the guy's chest.
Along
you
Came
know?
Polly,
Like,
yeah.
You're totally right. Ben Stiller. Oh, it was such a graphic scene too.
So like, and so it's, you know, we originally did that because Gracie Baja made it a rule, and we said, okay, let's do it. And then we saw some benefit in it. But if someone doesn't wear it, we're not strict.
Right.
So it's not like we're not gonna do push-ups or
It's encouraged.
or curse you in front of everybody or anything.
Just give them a bic.
Yeah, there you go.
Shave the chest.
Exactly. Use that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's part of the. That if you've been there, you see like our vibe is very laid back. We have rules. We hope that you obey them. I mean, if they're there because if someone, you know, is out or like totally causing problems, now we have something to point to, be like, hey, you know, but you know, it's anybody who's coming, just come. You know. Make sure your gi smells nice, or it doesn't smell bad at least, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah, I've been. It's a great school. Both your places are great. I hear only good things about that competition class you have. Like people are like
we went a little crazy today.
Did you?
It was my first day back from, you know, obviously traveling and everything.
Right.
And yeah, I just kind of saw how out of shape people were, and I'm like, and I was not happy.
shit.
Yeah, and little filth and foul going around and stuff. I mean, if you're ever in one of the the hard classes that I run, the competition classes I run, I literally remove any type of filter I may have, and I just, you know, I run it with a reckless abandon and just say a lot of weird things. But yeah, and people love it. From other schools, we had guests from Pete the Greek School, and we had guests from P3 today. You know, and we typically get Tommy Woodruff to show up and his guys. You know, Seraphin sent some guys too and stuff all the time. Yeah, but it's really open to everyone. Some guys from Team Redzovic show up from, let's see, oh God, why am I drawing blanks for their names? It must be the jet lag. But yeah, it's open to everyone. I don't care. Let's just train. Like,
Thanks for helping them out.
No, I'm always happy to help everyone. I'll flat out tell them, like, do you have questions? Like, do you want to know what I did and how you can stop it? Like, you can ask. I'll answer. I'm not going to BS you or anything like that. You know,
and he'll help you in mid roll. Like I'm rolling one of his guys. And he's telling him how to beat my guard. He's like, okay, you gotta move there. I'm like, Mark, what are you doing? Let me just kind of get one roll with you, not destroying me.
Not only
but
that,
it works out really well.
But I'll sit there and I'll coach both.
Yeah,
I'll coach both.
it's
Too. I'm
good.
an equal opportunity coacher.
You are.
I am. Like if I'm literally watching a match, it's funny too. I used to go like at Nagas to speed it along. I used to just walk around and be like, "Do you need someone to coach you?" I'll coach you. I'm like,
whatever will get this
like,
tournament over
like,
faster.
Let's please move faster. I'm
Right.
like, and it's funny because people would always think I'm trying to coach them to get subbed faster. I'm like, dude, no, man. But I should start doing that though.
Right.
Move things along. Speaking of it, it's funny because we're trying to set up a pool amongst all the bonsai guys and stuff and trying to get people in on it. Who can get the fastest sub?
Okay.
Like so, as Nick Spacek, one of our purple belts, was just like, hey. Let's make things interesting. Let's do a pool and like $20. Everyone throws in $20 and stuff like that. You bet on a person and stuff
Right.
for the fastest sub.
Right.
And I was just like, well, if it gets really high, I'm just going to run in there with my arm like doesn't get triangled. I get the money, right? You didn't say I need to sub anybody.
Right,
like,
exactly.
like if it gets really high, I'm just going to throw it. Like, and he's just like, no. I'm like, no. You put it on. That's how you post. That's how you posted it. That's how you worded it. That's how you posted it. So that's how we're playing with it. You didn't edit it. It's still out there. So people, all of us are just flying in there, like trying to get flying armbar and stuff like that.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. I mean, betting on jiu-jitsu might become like a really big thing.
Did you see the odds? So a bookmaker in California sat there and actually released odds that were published on Full Grappling for ADCC.
Really?
Yeah. Check it out.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, check it out.
I wonder if they'll ever do like fight to wins and stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool.
I think eventually you could.
I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, you would have to know everybody
Yeah.
well and
Well,
have stats and.
I'm sure it's gonna. I mean, the more fight to wins they put on, the more times they have all these guys on fight to win. The stats are going to be there. Plus, with all the competing that they do throughout the year.
Right.
I don't see
Can you
why not.
imagine some of the athletes playing, doing like a Pete Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Man, and in UFC, can't they bet on themselves in the UFC?
I don't think you can.
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
No?
Everyone's always asked me like, "Oh, Mark, do you place bets?" I'm like, "No, dude.
I think
I do not."
I think you could bet on yourself, right? Always, but you could never bet on your opponent because then they figure that you're throwing the
You're throwing a
fight.
match, but yeah, bet on yourself to
I,
win.
bet
Bet to win, but not bet to lose, right?
Right.
Then you'd be like, yeah, all right, I lost.
Guys, we've been going for about 2 hours and 45
Wow.
minutes. I think.
Damn.
Oh, man, it seems like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking Mineko's be walking in any second.
I know.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, you guys want to talk jujitsu?
I know, right? It's crazy.
Oh man, off his double gold.
Yeah.
Guy's crazy. That guy he's something.
He
Man.
kills it. He kills it.
He's having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really wanted to do this podcast. And when Paul and I mentioned it to him after you texted us, and he's like, "Man, you do it best. You do in person with him better than I do. You
I don't know. What does he say?
Like how he talks is his Brazilian accent.
Hey guys, I think I accomplished what I want. I think I might take it easy now competing. Like 2 weeks later, he's in San Diego.
Right.
It's like, is that taking it easy, bro? Damn.
What do you say about these guys when we told him about the podcast?
Oh, I can't repeat that.
Oh man, it was so
Not
good.
too many people I like in jiu-jitsu, but I like those guys a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like those guys, good guys, man, real good guys. Yeah, he's good, man.
No, Andre's the best.
Yeah, these guys don't realize that they are inspirational. Like when people see that what they're doing, how active they are, and basically accomplishing their goals.
Right.
Like that's why I'm doing it. I'm seeing these guys, doing a great job, and it makes you feel like you want to do something good too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Mark is doing an awesome job. Andre couldn't make it here tonight. It's fantastic inspiration for our students, for the community, and it's just great because maybe I am too. Maybe we are. You are. You know what I mean? Like we don't realize tomorrow we do something and someone draws from it.
Right.
I think there was a time I didn't compete for like 4 years, 5 years, like a big gap. But I was hanging around like Brick and Matt and PJ and these young kids. They're all over, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it too now.
Yeah, right.
Just feed off that energy.
Yeah.
So.
And
keep up the good work, guys.
Exactly. I mean, for me, I've always been like Aaron Brooks said it the best. He kind of called me out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really big on trying to promote jiu-jitsu in Chicago. For me, there's a lot of history here. It's been around here for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of homegrown talent that, in my opinion, has never gotten its just due. So, I mean, I really try to sit there and help everyone out here from Chicago and the Midwest. And that's kind of like my little personal goal, to kind of just make sure that we stay relevant on the scene and stuff like that. And proof that, like, hey, we don't have to be in New York or in California to sit there and produce good guys. We can do it here.
Yeah.
Weather sucks here, but we can do it here. We have better pizza than all of you, and we have good jiu-jitsu too. So
You're doing a great job, man. Keep it up, man.
thank you, sir. I'm
And
just trying to do
on that topic too, guys, you can reach us. Just message us on the podcast if you want a shout out to something or promote something, or we always like to give shout outs to like local t-shirt companies. Not just BJJTs, but like other guys too. We're easy to get a hold of, or just guests. Like, oh man, I'd love to hear this guy on. Hit me up. Shoot me a message. We'll have him on within a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, and one last thing I have one of my it's actually family of mine. They train jiu-jitsu at the school. Two brothers and a sister. One of the brothers, if you can see on my Facebook wall, more information on it, but they are dealing with some health concerns. They raising money for, the kid needs to remove a tumor from his brain. So I'm going to try and organize like a local
fundraiser,
like a seminar, donations. It'd be great if I can have you there, Mark, too. Any of the other local black belts, hit me up if you want to get in on this. But I want to try and put together some event to help raise funds for this family who's, just heartbreaking to imagine. Imagine you got your son or daughter or whatever, kind of they're in this position and they can't afford the treatment. Right. So if anyone, any of the local leaders here want to get in on that, just send me a message and hopefully we can create something in sometime in October for that.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
No, I'd love to be involved.
I think I know where your grappling game proceeds are going.
There you go.
There
you go.
Oh, done.
Got it,
awesome.
man. They're all yours.
Cool. Oh,
no
cool.
problem.
Anything you guys else want to say? Shout out to sponsors.
I gotta give my.
Do you have a page going for the thing you're doing in Bosnia for the community center? Or
Me and Zito will have that soon, hopefully.
Okay, gotcha.
But I've been slacking. But I have everything now. That's getting ready. I post a lot of stuff on my Facebook wall. jiu-jitsuforlife.com. Mighty Jungle Kimonos is also helping me a lot. And just thank you guys. Thanks for doing what you guys are doing and giving exposure to us here in the Midwest. And everyone else is just, working for good.
Yeah, if I could say a couple quick shout outs and stuff, absolutely. First, number one, thanks guys for, having us back on. And, we're just trying to do our part to sit there and promote, again, jiu-jitsu in the Chicagoland area, in the Midwest, promote Fight to Win, promote Adam and myself and Andre, who's busy winning golds. But just promote all of us and stuff. And, I want to thank you guys. Really, anything you guys need from me, just let me know. I'm always out. You know me. I'm always happy to help. Of course, I need to step. Shout outs to. I actually wrote them down.
Did you? Nice.
I needed to. I needed to because I always
pro.
forget. Kind of have to sometimes. But so of course, big shout out to all my training partners, all the guys that are competing at Fight to Win, from UP Training Center and Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out, of course, to my sponsors, BJJTs, Combat Corner, Health Kick, Jack Cambria out of 50 Barbell, Sam Spiegelman for putting me back together. Appreciate it. Analyze my BJJ, and also special thanks to Olin Kreutz for letting me use your gym and get really jacked. So I appreciate it.
Awesome.
It's
been a pleasure having both
thanks
you guys
a lot,
on.
guys.
Man. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you. Bye.
Peace.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right? Oh. This episode of the Grappler Union Podcast is brought to you by BJJTs. Go to bjjts.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjts.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's STRYCH, the number 9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order.